Audio on in live stream now, and hopefully we are broadcasting. Okay, welcome everybody. Let's get a picture up there. There we go. Let me give that to you again. Welcome everybody to the 36th Knowledge Seekers Workshop of the Keshe Foundation. And today we have a number of things that we're going to be addressing questions from knowledge seekers, and there'll be some input as well from Erick. He will show us some of the things he's been doing. We hope to show some videos of Vitor, and Mr. Keshe will be answering questions from various people from the audience here. And will be sort of a catch-up day. We'll find out more about what's going on at the Spaceship Institute. There's a lot of changes happening, I understand, and so we'll switch over to Mr. Keshe now and find out what's going on at the Spaceship Institute. Mr. Keshe, would you like to take over there?
Good morning, good day, and I hope we have a fruitful learning session today. All of us, we can learn something new from each other. As has been planned today, we tried this week to only answer questions, and in answering questions to teach. The plan as we have is, as usual, I try to explain as much as possible, and then Erick Claussen will show us his way of producing yellow material, what we call, it looks like a color of gold. So we call it the yellow material till we have a confirmation. On the other hand, we try to explain new developments which is happening. We have received in the past 24 hours major results from the research which we initiated in Africa, and it was in a way supported by the documents which was released by Harvard University, as they were present in the same presentation of the technology at the Presidential Palace. We have received a confirmation from the scientists in Sierra Leone that as the government told them, or the laboratory which is responsible for Ebola told them that without any reasons that they cannot, or they don't see, or they do not confirm any results about Ebola, the scientists, with the permission of the top people in the university, decided to do a parallel test, because they say Ebola, E. coli, AIDS, they're all of the same strand and the same kind of work. So with the meager resources they have, and with the support of the other groups of scientists, they initiated the test on E. coli and parallel with Ebola. E. coli, they call it, Dr. Aliak tries to explain to me. And the results has come out that they have seen between 95 to 98% total eradication of the virus. And what they've done, they have used the GANS material for the what you call it, the test. And after 30 minutes, they have seen total 95-98% elimination of the virus. And they have cultured it for further 24 hours to see that if it grows back, and it has not grown. So as the scientific research, they say the GANS CO2 can 100% be used for eradication of E. coli and Ebola they're going to test. I was talking to Dr. Elia last night about it, and she said this happens in the water contamination in the third world nations, and it's a problem. And so in a very simple way, now in Sierra Leone, which is a major part of being hit by E. coli, they can start testing. We know now that the material in a simple way at no cost can be used across the world, because you don't eat it. You can add it to contaminated waters and a few drops does the whole job. Scientifically, we can explain it as we did with Fukushima. This process is exactly the same, because the GANS is a plasmatic condition. So, as I explained in the, I think, Chinese teaching session, that the GANS being plasmatic creates an environment which its fields bypass the borders of the new, what do you call, amino acid which is attached to it, and in turn, in creating a field, it creates what we call magnetic field shielding. But the shielding, because of the structure of the CO2 GANs being of the same material or of the same elements as the amino acid, it attaches itself to the amino acid, and in turn does not disable the virus. It links up with all the magnetic fields of the virus, the energy which is putting out. So what happens, we can explain in detail about this progress, is that the magnetic field, which is the energy, gravitational magnetic, a virus has a magrav strength. It doesn't have a ray strength. This is the difference. So in having a magnetic gravitational field strength, it links up with a GANS of CO2, which is a plasma of magnetic gravitational field strength. So the virus, in linking up with a stronger dynamic center, it cannot link up with any other cell in the human body or in the containment where it is. So we do not, this is one of the problems, that's what we think has happened in the laboratories in Sierra Leone when they tested it. You see the Ebola, but you don't see it being effective, because it does not grow, because it links up and it closes the loop. And this is where the difference comes from. In nature, you do not kill. In the universe, killing is the habit of the man. That's why they're looking if they can destroy it. In the universe, we find balance, and this is a very good example of it. So what happens, all the gravitational magnetic field of the, let's say if this is Ebola, we are delaying in time, it's okay. Then, is it from our side or is it from their side? Do they don't see it or do we don't see it? Or is it our live stream which is late? This is late, okay, so it's okay, we carry on, they can see it all the time. So in fact, what happens is that the Ebola virus or E. coli virus or any virus links up its fields, which is both magnetic and gravitational. So in that process, it has nowhere else to link to. So it still exists. E. coli and Ebola or any virus which links up to amino acid, it will still exist. We see its existence, but it will not have the effect which has been expected by the virus. So from today on, we can say with confidence, and as we saw it the first time in Fukushima, and the people who did not understand it, they came up with all sorts of excuses. Now, independently through the yeah, it has a virus connection, it's got an energy connection. So in reality, any condition which has radiation or magnetic gravitational field characteristics can be made to a closed loop. A closed loop is that, in a way, because a plasma, as we always said, has spectrum of gravitational magnetic fields, when enters in the environment of the virus, it links with it in any shape or form, because a virus has a specific, what you call, let's say, frequency. So it matches into it, because GANS of CO2 has a spectrum from principal maggrav to matter and submatter to human detection system, gravitational magnetic fields. So the virus which can affect the human body has to have a magnetic gravitational field strength equal or near enough to the maggrav of the amino acid of the human being. And when you put a CO2, which is already connected with the same maggrav with the fat on top of the container, you have established the level, you have established the strength which you want to work on. So now the amino acid which is on top of the water which you create GANs in, with the fat you see, that's your reference point. You have a reference point with your CO2 attached to the amino acid on your water. And because the human body was processed and developed and created through the same process, the virus has attached itself to similar source. So in the two sources which are in similar, they come, so the magnetic fields which are chosen the strength of attached to each other the same. As I explained, so what you have two amino acids. One is attached with, let's say, Ebola, and one is attached with GANs of CO2. So when the two amino acids link up, the two fields which are as what we call virus or a GANs match up too. So you created a total closed loop envelope. No matter where it is, in what strength you have absorbed or you have digested the what we call a virus or whatever, which is the same. It's understanding the process. And this is what we saw in Fukushima. This confirmation now independently by the university scientists, which was initiated by the chancellor himself, because they did not accept the misinformation which was put in the circulation to them. They could not be acceptable because they did some tests before, they knew the result has to be correct. Confirms that everything is parallel. In Fukushima, we did not see drop in alpha and beta. In the research development done independently by the Italian Nuclear Center, we did not see drop in alpha and beta, but we saw in gamma radiation. And in my letter to an explanation of the technology in the paper with the Fukushima, I explained that the GANS as a dynamic plasma interacts with fields and gravitational magnetic fields, and this reduces their effect. It does not destroy the source. Man has got to the habit of seeing if something is destroyed, then it's correct. In the universe, you accommodate, you facilitate. Until we move from this habit of having to destroy, then the problem will stay. We see things, but we don't understand, so we have to deny it. The test from South University of Sierra Leone by the scientists confirms the test results from Fukushima at the same time. Because now we're seeing the same behavior in nuclear, and we're seeing the same behavior in biology or chemistry or biochemistry. This is a very important result, because now in the development of the space technology medicine, this result has opened a new dimension for us. We've been discussing in a different way with Dr. Elia in the past week. She's been here and trying to understand the emotional part and plus the effect on the physical part. These results will allow us, since I received this result yesterday afternoon, I immediately shared the information with the knowledge seekers here, what has been achieved. This changes the whole of the medical application of the Keshe Foundation. The whole program changes. Literally brings us back into being able to market very much like the CO2 kit for anyone at home to be able to help themselves with most of the problems of health. This, if you understand the implication and application of this confirmation from the South University of Sierra Leone by the doctors and the professors there, this brings home a huge change in allowing us to be able to release the technology on a medical basis that every man can help. The pharmaceuticals will literally become the providers of the systems than selling tablets. So, in fact, what this means, we can link up with the material, the matter part, the physical part of the human body in a very simpler way, in a much, much simpler way, and at the same time allow the body to work through the emotional part to help with any or most of the problems. This technology at this moment is not solution to all diseases till you understand how all diseases and illnesses come in. You have to realize how you can apply it and how you can adapt it. It's what I call creating the condition, creating the environment, creating the situation where you can bring or accommodate. It cannot be out of just because you are used to seeing matters moving and if there is no matter. A lot of laboratories around the world have to retrain their scientists not to look for matter-state interaction, but to look for a total condition which is created. And this is going to be a huge change of mind. But what we're going to do, I will speak later on today with the authorities and the people in that level. I knew of this result last week, which was on the way to come to be confirmed now. That's why I posted, and Rick posted that paper from Harvard University, because they wanted independent confirmation. We are independently confirmed by the most advanced university in the world. Pardon? Yes, Marco asked if Rick can post that material about the GANS, which was posted with the Chinese paper. And at the same time, I sent the link to James in Hong Kong to go to the Chinese government, because one of the biggest problems in India, and as Dr. Elia was telling me, in third world nations, is this Ebola. So now nations can protect themselves within matter of days from this. It can be sold as bottles. People can just add to the water and make sure you drink it, or at least you have a cleaner water. And with this process, we open a new chapter in health internationally. To us, maybe this is just a talk in a workshop, but the implications of it goes beyond understanding of people, even who listen to this program. Because now, with a piece of copper, which is out of anything, you can make something to at least bring about control of some diseases which was unthinkable even till last week, or till even this morning when the announcement has come in. The changes are huge. We're going to push with this across the world in how people can protect themselves. We leave the technology open to all the nations to do, and everyone can produce the system and use it. I have asked from the university to release a communique in conjunction with the foundation this week. And as we have a close relationship with the head of the universities and office of the president, we hope we'll receive it. Otherwise, we'll send this to different universities around the world to reconfirm. What this means is that we release the man from the shackles of the virus. This is what we had no solution for. It is fundamentally a new opening, independently by every man who can protect himself. The application and implication of this test, and then what we showed in Fukushima, confirms that there are easy ways to tackle diseases, illnesses. I'm just working on in past few days, since Dr. Ali has been here, in a system where literally like a kit you can buy and adjust it according to the disease. I reckon these kits can be marketed around about $3,000 to $5,000 or euros. We need a few days, few weeks to adopt it. You have cancer, you have, what do you call it, mental diseases, whatever you have, this brings, plus other developments, a new solution. This is what we say, single integrated system for health for a space. The development, this confirmation, and in a way that the scientists in Africa did not believe their lies which they were told by World Health Organization, and they tested themselves independently, confirms that we have to stay independent in our research. It has to be done. In this, we take it further, because now we ask all the universities, all the scientific organizations, even the pharmaceuticals, to start testing. Because the CO2 is a natural product, is not tailor-made, and it is a part of the structure of the amino acid of the human body. It has no side effect. It cannot create any side effect. So testing, availability of it has to be done by normal people. Then they change the course of the pharmaceuticals. In a way, we have not become a competition to pharmaceuticals. We add to the strength of them to be able to help the human race. I'm just looking at it in the next few days, weeks. We will launch a CO2 kit, because it has to be done in a special way, that you produce a specific kind of protein that is matching to the human body. Do not touch any CO2, any, what do you call it, any GANS except CO2 for cases of health, because you can cause bigger problem. You have to understand the condition. GANs of copper can create problems. GANs of aluminum can create problem. GANs of CO2 is of and the same as the human body structure. It's totally different. In its energy, in its level, in its magnetic field, gravitational field strength, is parallel and similar to the amino acid. As if you recall, during the summertime holidays, when the knowledge seekers were not here, I announced that the frogs were dead. And what happened with the frogs? That was part of the test prior we delivered the material and the technology to Africa, because we had to do a test here. We did a live test here using the frogs to establish the correctness between different ganses. And unfortunately, we touched the soul of 3 animals. I bless their soul, but they taught us a lot. And once we knew the result, immediately the knowledge was transferred to the scientists in Africa, which they were in the position of the Ebola. And then World Health Organization through the Harvard University tried to cover it up, that it would have been washed under the carpet. And now it's open. What we did, I explained to you the test. What happened, why we lost the frogs. In trying to understand the process and the working of the different ganses, I started adding on a daily basis, thank you very much, my breakfast and our breakfast has just arrived. Italian coffee with the croissant. You're all welcome to it. So what happened, I added CO2 on a regular basis in a large dosage to the water. The animals grew very strong, they were growing, and they became faster, healthier. I have videoed all this. Then, my assumption that the copper oxide will be the danger part because of the heaviness, because of the strength of the gravitational magnetic field of the GANS of copper oxide. This will affect the body of the animal. And I start introducing small dosages of copper oxide GANS into the water container of the frogs, which are receiving the CO2. And within less than 2-3 hours, the animals died. But what we received, what we saw as a remnants, as a leftover of the body of the animals was more interesting. Because they all became green, like a glowing ball around themselves. So this gave me a lot of information exactly about the conformation and the work of the copper oxide, what we wanted, in what field even has created with the body after it has been consumed by the animals. And strange enough, because the container of the 3-4 frogs in one container was next to the other one, thank you, which was not fed by copper oxide, the animals next door died too. So the field expanded beyond one container to another. That's why in the past few weeks I keep on emphasizing, please do not touch. Somebody asked, can we use copper oxide for a cancer? Is because of the magnetic gravitational field strength of the copper oxide GANS, it absorbs all the energy. The animal does not die of suffocation. The animal becomes part of the process of the field of the GANS, and you just see, I've seen the evolution. I watched the progress of the, it's not breaking up, but in becoming a new plasma. The material around and the sphere around the frog were spherically green like a ball, which is very unusual. And they were near enough to the color. So the whole composite material changed from the energy of the body of the animal into the copper oxide GANS magnetic gravitational field level. I think they put pictures of it. You can see it now, yeah. These were in a smaller container, then we repositioned them back to a bigger container. So we knew about the results of what should come from Africa, from the South University of Sierra Leone. But I had to test it before I send the material out or discuss in the development. As long as we had the CO2, The animals were comfortable and they start growing, because what happened when the knowledge seekers were here, but they were not fed on regular basis, I start feeding them on daily basis. And the advantage with this was that, as you see on the left-hand picture, more bubbles, more oxygen bubbles. So the CO2 cleans up and allows the growth. We had a different kind of green growth. These were both done at the same time. The right-hand side is and the left-hand side. We knew the progress. So this is one of the reasons, as I said to you, I gave you bad news the week after that the frogs have died, was because before we could go for human tests, I needed to have a physical evidence that the assumptions was correct scientifically. And by adding copper oxide, by absorbing the energy directly into one center, it literally took the life or the energy out of the animals. So you have to match with match. This teaches us a very important lesson in a way. This goes back to people like Dr. Elia and the people who are responsible for the health in the space. What is damaging to us is not necessarily is damaging to the other creatures of the universe. You have to find out in what gravitational magnetic field they exist, in what environment they operate through their existence. The copper oxide is not, its gravitational magnetic field is too strong for human body, but it could match the others. In a way, when we applied the GANS of CO2, when our friend Gikoko in Japan applied different kind of GANSes to the material there, that was a clear indication that we reached the gravitational magnetic field of the gamma rays source, but we were too strong for the matter state of the alpha and beta. So if we can produce a GANS in the level of alpha and beta, then radiation damages are irrelevant anywhere in the universe. If I can explain this, we looked at, as I said just before we go online, with the test results for my poisoning, we see heavy nuclear materials in my body. By folds, by several times than normal, but I'm still trying and live a normal and active life because I have produced systems for myself that I oversaw the national governments will go for this kind of poisoning. So I can carry huge amount of radioactive material in my body where I close the circuit. But when you do the test, you see the material. The amount of, what is it? Strontium. Yes, because Dr. Elia has received a blood test report from a German laboratory who's done the test. The amount of radioactive material which have been given is so huge, and I presume such a step be taken by governments to eliminate me. I can carry huge amount of it without any sign of it. This is what we say we use our own technology. So now we can open the doors that any kind of contamination can be contained. Is it a loss?
Just please stay close to the microphone.
I have the microphone, it's on my head. Yeah. So, so you now we can open the doors for you to understand. Now that's why we explained, try to understand the totality. Till the government realize what they've done and what they can do to help their subjects, the man has the tool to protect themselves. I think with this technology, we set the scene for the governments to follow the public. And this is what's going to happen. So Dr. Elia is reading the blood results which I've received. Wait. The copper is nearly 4 times. Strontium is about 40% high. We have aluminium is about 4 times more than. Then we have silicon, which is given in a liquid form to me for a specific reason. Barium is about twice. Lead is more than 50%. Zirconium is over 5 times. No human body can stand this kind of huge. There's a huge amount of radioactive materials has been, and barium the same is twice. So it's been a systematic. We know how it's been done. They create a condition to have other poisons. Now we have a full X spectrum. What it is, these are the residual of radioactive materials and other materials creating radioactive condition. Using the hair, the nail, and what do you call it? My mustache. Mustache. Yeah. So we understand how we can protect this, how it can be done. So with a simple test, we can open the doors. We can explain more in detail how you can protect yourself anywhere in the world. If you go somewhere to an environment where Ebola could be a problem, which is normal. I was speaking with Dr. Elia last night, and she said this happens in the sexual behavior habit as well with the Ebola. E. coli. So now you have a solution, and you can do it yourself at home, in a space, because now you understand the principle. It's not just creating a CO2. In understanding, you need to create a condition. CO2 creates a condition. As you see on the screen, the little balls, these are the spheres, these are magnosphere of the GANS of the CO2 or the others. So this goes back into a lot of understanding in a lot of depth. This goes back in the Chinese lesson. We had the teaching. I asked the gentleman who's growing the agriculture side in China in the government institute testing our CO2, is we see if we can develop plants which we can eat, which has this material which is already connected to the amino acid protein of the plant. So when we eat it, it's already in tune with the what you call amino acid of the human body, and by eating these plants, we don't need to create a CO2 if we receive it at the level which is already accepted by the body. This is very important. The course of human health from today is changed. Not because we would like to say, now we have evidence from the universities. We saw the evidence in Fukushima and everybody came out, there is something wrong, the figures are not wrong. So this changes that totally. There is something important, is that we cannot blame and we cannot go back and attack others for what they don't understand, because what they are used to is not there, but the results are there, they cannot see. The doctors, we know this in the report within the nuclear center of Belgium. I saw this a few years ago. I've seen the same kind of some reports with the Italian nuclear center. I know the same thing sits in the Iranian nuclear facilities. They detect, they see the material existing, but they don't see the behavior of it. What it means, when they do the biological test, they see the Ebola is still there, or E. coli is still there, but they don't see it having the effect. So they say because it's there, so it has the effect. Now the world of science has to start thinking in a new way. Existence does not confirm the behavior. Because now we can change the behavior. We can create a condition that neutralizes the effect of what has been danger to man. We do now, we will go into more depth. I have asked for the delivery of the 2 new detection units for the center. We'll have the confirmation within the coming week. As you know, we carry 2 kinds of detectors here. One for a high and one for a low gravitational magnetic field detection, what we call 3-dimensional. In our tests, we showed 129 Tesla, strength from the free plasma. People who were in the institute tried to assert their existence, and they said everything is wrong, and they start creating doubts in the work of the foundation that everything is wrong. We are so strong, we are so confident of our work that what we did, we switched the detectors off. We reset them. We still got the same result. As you saw, 84 Tesla, 129 Tesla, and 72 Tesla. Then they start creating and putting information out to discredit us that there is something wrong with the detector. We are so confident that, as you've seen for past week, 10 days, the detector was not shown. We sent the detectors back to the manufacturers, and especially when I called them with Dr. Elia and Armen present, I don't know if Marco was, they confirmed to us that there is nothing wrong with the detectors. They have tested them. It's the house cleaner. They tested the detectors again in their own laboratory. They tested the program, and they said the detectors are 100% correct. The system is 100% correct. What you are detecting is correct, and we can guarantee up to 14 Tesla with the detectors, but there is no more system to do. So as is correct in below 14, we're going to allow 5% in is the housekeeper. The, the, the readings of our detector from the free plasma is confirmed. They have sent us an email that our reading is correct. So we have broken the taboo of 100 Tesla. What they said to us, when you go to higher readings, then the reading changes from linear to exponential. So you can read higher numbers, but then in a way, we are setting data for the manufacturers now. They want us to transmit the information back to them, that they can set up or have enough information to set the new tools, detectors which they're going to build for the foundation. Because the world of science is not used to creating 80 Tesla, 40 Tesla, even 14 Tesla, which is the detector is confirmed is capable of detecting, with less than 10, 12 watts, then we are wrong. But in fact, now we can say 100%. The detectors are correct. The reading has been correct. And even we allow 10%, not normal 3 to 5%. Even we allow 10% for error. We are still at 115 Tesla, and we've broken the taboo of the system. People say, how is it possible? It's very simple. The plasma from 4 detectors, which carry themselves plasmatic magnetic field of millions of the little plasmas of the CO2, are releasing continuously their energy internally, and then they are releasing that energy to find balance in respect to each other into the center of the system because they're close to each other. So the free plasma has become a magnet for release of billions of the plasmas in the 4 cores. And then when you receive so much according to the laws of nature in the universe, What you don't need, you share. Thou shalt not steal. And what happens? There are other reactors in the environment of the lab, or entities in the environment of the lab, call upon the source to release like a sun. And that's why we see the bursts. These bursts we saw at 100 and odd Teslas, or any Tesla, which is going sometimes 10, 15, 20, 30, is what the environment asks from the source. So we have created a source, we have created a sun. And it releases itself, amount of it, when it's called upon the rest to find balance. So now we understand the process, we understand what we have created, what we've done, and as I said today, what do you call it, the detectors should be back with us in the lab, coming back from the manufacturers, confirming that there is nothing wrong with the detectors. What we detected at 100 and odd Teslas or 50 Teslas or whatever is 100% correct. So this, I asked Armen and Marco yesterday, do not release this till we announce it today. But because I know a lot of people putting pressure, what happened? This all came because people do not understand the change of the course of the science. And they still have to protect in what they were used to. The technology of the plasma is different than anything we know in the physics. Plasma technology, the way you are introduced to, is the way the universe works. We are going out of the village of the man on earth. You cannot go into New York with a donkey and the back of a camel. You cannot take it into space with understanding of a matter, because the universe works on the plasma and how plasma exists and operates. A lot will try to stick to their camels because they don't know how to drive, but it doesn't mean that you'll survive the course going down the road on the highway with a camel. This is the change, and now we're seeing it step by step by step by step. We are coming into it, we are opening it up, we've seen the change of the plasma, we've seen the creation of the Tesla. I explained to you something very clear. Dr. Elia is sitting next to me, she can confirm it to you. We've been put on the satellite radiation. God, this must be the gardener. So we've been put on the heavy field radiation in Belgium. They bought the house next door to us and they equipped it, literally bombarded us with radiation day and night. That you go crazy. The house which was empty, supposed to be, we could hear 2, 3 o'clock at night mobile phone ringing in it. Because the agents were sitting next door. And they thought we don't know. Don't forget, Caroline lived in that house for nearly 30 years. We knew the houses around, she was there from childhood. It was something we didn't know. And the house was empty. And strange enough, the house was getting cleaned up from the snow and everything regularly. Empty house doesn't need the snow in front of it to be cleaned out, the food pallet. When we came to Belgium, the same process, when we came to Italy, the same process in the past 6 weeks, by the time the knowledge seekers came back, started again. It's all recorded with the police. So what they did in conjunction with the materials which they put in my body, with their agents here inside the foundation, they monitored and delivered a specific gravitational magnetic, or what you call radiation fields, to cook us up. That's why we suddenly came up with the effects of the way it was happening to me. In the past week, we brought the defense technology in a space level into the house. Dr. Elia can tell. Near us, there is a highway which we can hear very heavily. Means the noise level is that we can detect it, we can hear it easily in the house. Now we don't even hear the motorway. The system is so powerful that I have created something like 50, 60 meter radius to cover the residential part of the, what do you call it, the area, that we do not receive any noise anymore. As Dr. Elias said, I can't even hear the woods cracking anymore. We are, and we have opened the technology for our protection. They can irradiate whatever they like. Does not penetrate, does not come through. And I don't say it because we see it, we hear it. We don't hear 5 o'clock in the morning. The traffic from the highway was more or less sometimes deafening, especially when the trucks start. Now we don't even hear it. We're living literally in a peaceful, noiseless environment. And with it, the field radiation which they put on the house with the material. So, as I was saying to earlier, I haven't slept for nearly 12 hours for years. Now I can sleep peacefully. Defense technology in its absolute strength is used, now is getting applied in my house. And we have extended, I extended this week to the foundation teaching the White House. We protect people, protect us, and work with us. So, the military people who are interested to see the reactor to be able to jam satellites or create protection for buildings of the presidents, please come to the Sansano, we show you how it works. You go outside, measure the noise and the radiation, and you come inside, measure the noise and the radiation. Yesterday we were walking in the park in the center here, and Elia was saying, does it pass here because we start hearing the noise? You literally can go through the barrier and the noise increases because it covers a sphere of the building. It doesn't, it's not directional. These could be a dream for the man and the science and the space people that they could create such a thing. Now we have created it. Total cost, a few $100s. The specialists came here last 2 weeks ago when they found about the poisoning of Caroline and me, and they said they tested, they said they are using a frequency system that they are mixing. So they did the job, they detected what it was used, and they gave me a quotation for 2,900 euros for a system to cover certain frequencies. I said, guys, you're too late. My system covered the whole amount, cost less than $100, and is in operation. And they were so angry that we wasted so much time making, searching, finding. I said, it's the security people, it's your job to do, but I'm not paying for it because now I'm more protected with my own system than yours. Extend this back to the same thing as CO2 and Ebola or E. coli. We created a shield that links up with the fields which are around it. There is no difference. Those from the military who want to open the channels of talk about satellites and protection and seeing if it works, Keshe Foundation has a donation line. Pay the donation to the foundation that we can expand our research, and you can come here and see the performance. You literally feel it as you pass the circle as a sphere. It's so bad that we live in a wooden house, so Dr. Elias said to me before, you could hear the woods cracking. Now there is no cracking as well. She's laughing her head off. Am I correct? So this is how it is. You can't even hear the noises in the house. And because it's in gravitational magnetic field of the environment, doesn't harm you. So we see in the application, we start opening and we start marketing the application. The foundation is directly involved now in commercialization through very beautiful organization. We think we come to an agreement in development of the laboratory work. They have an international base around the world in China. So they become the arm of the production of the materials and systems for governments and companies and public. There is something important I have to announce before I forget. That's not my mustache, is it? No. That is we have released the first batch of the CO2 kits. They left yesterday. We're trying to catch up because the Italians failed to deliver what they promised that they do it. So now it's getting done here at the foundation. And the first kits left yesterday. Something like, I think 28 or 30 of them. It takes time to, because we have to reorganize. We are not planning to do it here. And another batch leaves today. Within next 7 days, 10 days, we'll complete all the orders. We're going by date backwards, which means the first order goes out first. So the people who ordered on the 9th of, what do you call it, October, all those 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th of October orders have already left and are leaving this week. And every time an order leaves, that not to say to create a condition which is created by the, what do you call it, Belgians in respect to the books, 24 hours before your shipment leaves, you receive an email from the Keshe Foundation. So till you don't receive that email, it means your package has not left yet. In that email, we give you a link to the forum peace treaty, that you sign your peace treaty. It saves us doing a lot of work here. And secondly, Marco and Armen have made and are making videos in how to use and how to connect and how to apply the package you receive. And then this is going this week on the forum with the sheet. Marco has written a sheet about its work, how it's going to be done. If you can't see the video, you can read it. And you just go on the website, the link is there. It shows you what you have to do and the way you put the package together. And so the system carries on. You can, if you have any problems, you can send to the foundation. The new videos will be made for it to explain the problem if you have a problem. So when you receive your kits, first of all, please be patient till you receive your email. After 24 hours from the time you receive your email, you have a track, what do you call it? Air bill number, a tracking number on your email. Somewhere in the bottom end, a tracking number is issued against the air bill number which is left the center. So after 24 hours, you can monitor where your package is. You cannot come back and say it's not delivered, it's not there, or whatever. If you're outside EU, you pay for your packages, because we said it's on our list that the delivery to EU was covered by the foundation. We have realized that the price of the shipping by UPS is higher than was estimated. So yesterday we increased the shipping cost into the added amounts on the website and the forum. I asked the webmaster to do it. So the changes coming. So the first kit, this was one of the biggest problem for governments and a lot of people, especially after the blockage and the blocking we saw with the delivery of the energy system. And a lot of people said how this is a crooked job, they are collecting some more money. I have to say most of and nearly all of, except maybe about 10, 12 people, anybody who paid for the generators have been refunded. Or anybody who asked for a refund, they all have been refunded. So we are not sitting on a stash of, as we were accused, stealing money. We told people the ones who wanted the refund have been refunded. The ones who wanted to say to wait till the power supplies are done, because they've seen the work of the foundation, which is very few people left, we still have the, what do you call it, the deposit with the foundation. All the ones who wanted the refund, they've been refunded. We refunded about 90 or 100, 110 people out of the 140, 50 people, maybe even less left now. So we keep to our work and we keep to the way we are. If we were not blocked by the Belgians for the development and delivery of the energy system, we would have delivered it. Here in Italy, we see the same kind of behavior. So now we can deliver much easier way of energy production system. So if you bought the kits within next 7 days, hopefully you should receive an email from the foundation that your kit has been delivered or it's on its way, and with the air bill number that you can track yourself directly. You don't need to come back to us, I have not received it. If you don't receive it, you go back to UPS and you ask, where is my package? With it, you have to sign. This is what we asked you. Sign the World Peace Treaty. Sign yourself to being a part of the world peace through behavior, through conduct, and through thinking. And then go to the link which Marco and Armen will create in next few days. It'll go to the Keshe Foundation team for correction if there is anything to be done, and it'll be loaded. By the time you receive your kit in next 48 hours, 72 hours, we should be able to post a video. They made a very nice videos. They show you exactly how to load, how to put the package together, and then if you have any more inquiries, come back to us. And as of next week or so, next 2 weeks, hopefully our colleagues in China will start a mass production, and all the deliveries of the Keshe Foundation throughout the world will be done through Hong Kong or through mainland China. We had to do it, we asked the nations to do it, but they said the cost is so much expensive here in Europe or in Western world that it cannot be met. Now what we've done is that we produce in China, and according to the nations, what is sold in each nation will be contributed towards the Keshe Foundation for development of their, what do you call it, their programs. So we centralize the production. And there are new systems which will be delivered. There is one of them is called as a, what would you like to call it? The pad. Yeah. Pain relief pad, which we use in foundation. It's been used for some times. This pad is for any kind of pain. It creates a balanced magnetic gravitational field around the body. So if you have pains and what do you call it, muscle pain and damage, or any kind of pain with the structure of the tissues, it has shown proven for past 10 years with us to work. So in the coming weeks we will release this. Pardon? It's okay now. So we release a new material, new packages, new what do you call kits. There'll be a new kit in the coming weeks once we sort out the leakage problem. There is a leakage problem with a new rechargeable batteries, what we call, you can use a GANS material to charge and create energy. The leakage problem is due to the characteristics of the nanomaterial, nothing to do with the production. We have to find a loophole, or at least a process, to be able to stop this leakage. Our Japanese colleagues which are working with us, they've had the problem. Now we're trying to sort it between us and finding a solution in Japan, and in hopefully by the production in China we should be able to solve this problem. It comes from natural structure of the GANS material wires. It's a breathing, it's a plasma, it expands and contracts according to its environment. Doesn't matter if you glue it or you, what do you call it, hot glue it. After a while, there is a seepage, and then you lose your GANS, or you use the water, which leads to dryness of or concentration of the GANS. Our colleagues in Tokyo have seen this, and now we are trying to sort it out, because it'll be commercialized for the Japanese energy system in the coming weeks. The process is very simple. Once we reach this, we understand what it is and how it is. So you understand, we have given you the essence and the basis for creating a new world order according to new science. You create the order is very simple. If you, I was explaining this to the knowledge seekers yesterday. Those who've been on the live stream have seen it. Yesterday was very funny. We suddenly we had this system hanging with the same steel rope for past months, weeks, and the same rope, steel rope, was hanging and holding the energy system for past year. And suddenly yesterday, if you were on live stream, you saw that the reactors literally dropping off, falling off their frame, and the same cable, the same place snapped within 2 hours twice. Yesterday, now it's okay. Yesterday it did twice. If you were on live stream, you saw that literally the whole structure collapsing, falling off. And I said to the knowledge seekers, you have to understand what is the demand of the free plasma inside the system. There is something wrong which the free plasma cannot accept, because you create a soul, you create a condition. We have created a position that is not acceptable. It's our job to find the problem. And I looked at it, there was the difference, two differences between the old and the new. We have a metal sheet, aluminum sheet at the bottom of the frame. And secondly, we have moved in the environment where the plasma, the frame, is on its own. So what we did, we brought a twinity to it. We brought a small plasma and we put it nearly on the same level, and we don't see the problem. The problem is eradicated. But we made some adjustments as well to it. You look at the totality. Between the small reactor, you don't see this, just on the back of your videos, because we're still live on live stream. If you look on the live stream, you don't see it, but just off camera, there is a reactor running, a twin reactor we put up. It's aluminum, CO2. We put it at the same height now as the free and plasma, and some sort of we see balance, but we have put a string around the whole system as well to hold it, that we can control it. We do not see the lift or reduction in the weight. But this we can sort out today when we receive the detector back from the manufacturers. Because then we can see where the plasma has moved and find out the condition of it, and somehow be able to sort the position. The teaching of the technology is according to what we would like to see, and no more. If we create a condition and a position, we will see the restrictions and what we need to get from it. In the coming weeks now, we will see a new type of reactors, a new, totally new concept in plasma technology. I hope by the time Armen comes back, we will receive the pieces which he has manufactured in the United States and arrived here in Italy, hopefully today. You will see totally the new type of, away from what you have seen up to now. And if we can assemble it before holidays, we can run it. Then you will see the operation of very much a molecule. And very much like a star system within a star system. We hopefully should have the capability to deliver this with the new reactors which is arriving from state with the Armen's development. This will give us a very much new inside compact unit, and we are still running the old GANS units. The old gas units are still running, we still feed them, Yesterday we fed them with nitrogen and helium and hydrogen. We still keep it going because if we do not see changes here on the frame with the new room we have given to the gas materials, we transfer the system back to the old lab where it was receiving and it was meeting the demand. Because there were another 8 reactors in that room and they were active, our system had a purpose to look after them or to feed them. And here in the new room we put it, it's on its own, there is no demand. So it does not need to give, or it does not need to create a condition. Once we receive the detectors, we see and we explain. You got to go back to one thing with all these teachings we do. First of all, you create environment, you create condition, and secondly, the condition has to be just and correct. You cannot force it. As the controller, you can create a just condition, or you can use the condition you create to achieve justice, or equal, or balance. Depends what word you need to explain what you're doing. We do the same thing with Ebola, we do the same thing with CO2, we do the same thing with our reactors, we do the same thing with operation of the energy production. Now, any questions? I've been talking to myself again.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. That was great. Okay, so we have a host of questions, and we also have a little presentation from Erick as well. Would we like to hear from Erick now, or just move into some other questions?
Let's listen from Erick.
Go with Erick first.
Please.
Okay, Erick, are you ready for me to read your little presentation that you wrote up for me?
Yes, Rick. Good morning for everybody. Please, Rick, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm reading what Erick has written because he thinks his speaking of English is not that good. I think that he's improving a lot from working with us, actually. But in any case, here is what he would like me to read. So it starts out. From deep within my heart is my biggest wish to help to open this technology for peace, equality, dignity, and prosperity of mankind. In reality, I seek not gold, I am seeking knowledge. And if this knowledge leads me to make the gold, then this knowledge will be teaching me how I can control the matter and the way and how it acts, and that is more worth than gold for humanity. This is the result of learning from some of the theory and teaching that Mr. Keshe has given us. It is a way of producing GANS. This GANS has the color of gold. Let me, excuse me just a second, I'll get up a picture that Erick has shown here, the first picture. And this GANS has the color of gold, no metallic color. Laboratory testing will inform us what is inside it. Still, I do not have those results. Whatever the results are, no matter if it is gold or not, the important thing is that this technology opens up a way to manipulate matter and create materials in an easy and efficient way. The materials you see have been produced in a small reactor that I will show to you. The materials in this reactor from the beginning are the same and have not been changed, and they have apparently retained their own weight and shape. Only I have added some distilled water and salt. Therefore, the GANS, you see, has to be formed directly from the energy of the plasma. Okay, we go on to the description of the reactor. It's a container with a round shape, 10 centimeters diameter, 1 centimeter high, polystyrene, high thermoformed. There's 2 magnets. It's not clear where the magnets are shown in this particular diagram. 2 magnets, neodymium 5 millimeter diameter, 1 in the form of a ring, 2 in cylindrical. Copper wire uncoated, and distilled water and salt. And that's the end of Erick's, what he wanted me to read. So Erick, perhaps you can fill us in a little more with that, or maybe you'd like Mr. Keshe to talk about it, whatever you prefer right now.
Okay, thank you very much, Rick. I prefer to show the video with my video with the reactors or what is my work. Okay.
I didn't get that on live. Yes, go ahead.
Is it there? Do you see the video? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's come through.
Okay, thank you. Again, first I want to show you the reactor. This is a very, very clean reactor. Do you see good? The reactor had this reactor had one piece of magnet, the neodymium. That's in fabric, this is gold neodymium from factory. Very clean magnet. On inside is the copper wire, nano coated. With the wire, copper wire is together with the magnet. I have put first a piece of gold here in the end. I think it doesn't work. What works here is this magnet on the copper wire, nano coated. If you can see, here is another magnet out from the plastic. This plastic is polystyrene. Between is the plastic. Here is one magnet, the cylindrical magnet. Inside another piece of magnet, neodymium. As you can see, inside is the GANS. The GANS is gold color. It's heavy, I think. It's heavy metal, but don't look like metal. Okay. Here I have one example how is built the reactor. The small magnet, copper wire, and the copper wire nano coated. Yes, in between comes the plastic. I added the water, salts, the GANS comes out. Here is the GANS, the gold GANS. I have 3 times dried, wash it with the water, with distilled water. And after I have with the air trocken, drying. Here I have a little bit without drying. You can see here a little bit the fat that comes from this process too. You can make different materials with this process, different materials. Only you have to change the cake. You have to change the recipe. You can add it more energy, plasmatic energy. You can bring another materials inside, or you can change a little bit the materials, and you can bring another materials. I think this is a very good process to make different heavy GANs. Excuse me for my not good English. When I asked Mr. Keshe that he can please explain in scientific way what's happened in this process for you. So thank you very much, and I hope it will help all the people.
Thank you very much, Eric. I think that was an excellent presentation, and I think your English was better than most of the English folks that I know. So you did good.
I think we got to understand that Eric is collaborating with the Spanish speaking workshop for translation. And I think he'll be more active in that line because he has a good grasp of both sides in translation. I have spoken a couple of occasions with Eric. A lot of people do it through stress. There's nothing, you can't go that way. The what you call production of this material, we're trying to organize to be shipped to China for the Chinese Scientists of the Keshe Foundation Support Group there. They have access to systems to what you call test the material to what it is in Raman spectroscopy and other materials. The process is very simple. The whole configuration is the loop you have seen on the center. The 8-loop copper nano-coated material creates a close, what you call twinity. And then with diverting or connecting the wire into the magnet, it brings in the balance field which is needed in a matter state. The wire is twisted around the copper wire in the 8-loop, so the energy transfer is only equal to copper oxide, but at the same time it releases a different color of copper, but it creates a condition to look and behave like gold color, the yellow color. This material, it looks like very much pure copper in different nano states, but it most probably behaves in a metal state near to copper, and possibility of factor by infinity energy of gold or heavy metal in that color range. This, we have to test this for its gravitational magnetic field spectrum, and not by the color and physical look. It's initially, when we looked at it, it looks like gold. It has the color of gold, but the more detailed look, it gives the interaction and the field of pure copper GANS. Pure copper GANS. This is not a nano copper oxide. In this process, the oxidization through the infinity loop is taken out in the liquid, in the water. So what I think this is, even though it looks like gold material, but this is, to me, from what I understand, I can be 100% wrong, it is a pure copper without oxidization. But it could carry behavior of gold. Because as you know, gold has different colors. We see different shade of this material. It depends on the content of the material which is inside. So I'm trying to organize the shipping of this material to China for our people there to see what it is and how it is. It's going to take a few days with a lot of things which are happening around us. But we'll see what it is, and we'll see on the behavior. We cannot rely anymore on a chemical testing. All these new materials have to be tested through the gravitational magnetic field of it. We have to develop new testing systems. We were talking about it yesterday here. We're going to use Elia for testing. She's shaking her head and says, please, please don't talk. But we have found, in a way, I can see a measuring tool for GANSes. But we're going to release it once we are 100% sure it's correct to be done. Because as a GANS, you have to measure 6 parameters, not 2. You have to measure gravitational magnetic fields, both of them, the magnetical and gravitational, both in 3 dimensions. Which means you have to measure the gravity in X, Y, and Z, and you have to measure on the boundary of the GANS gravitational magnetic field in 3 dimensions. And most probably in 2 different locations. It's a very simple but complicated, which means we have to put detectors in a small container and measure it in 4 locations. With the 3 X, Y, and Z detectors, we give a good idea. That's one of the reasons I asked yesterday for 2 new sets of the system by the manufacturers. Now we have to set up a standard in how we measure things in different directions. But to my opinion, I could be 100% wrong. I looked at this even last night. What we see here, because there could be condition to create what we call gold looking, but this is a copper in its pure, absolute pure nano GANS structure. In the other cases, when you use copper with copper, we see CO2 GANS. Here, because the copper wire plus gold link can be done, releases that. Or it's a combination of the 2. We'll see when it comes out, but my opinion is it could be pure copper, or if you leave a gold string in there, You create a condition, the gravitational magnetic field of the heavier element to be dictated to be the gold. Do we absorb anything from the environment? Possibly yes. Because we have to see, I'll ask a question from Erick. Do you see any copper, all the nanomaterial disappearing from the infinity ring? Or is infinity ring still black, black?
Pardon, I don't understand. Infinity ring.
The ring which you made like a 8, the figure 8, we call it infinity ring because it's a loop.
Okay, okay. In moment, yeah, this system is running more than 2 months, and the material is black. I don't see it looks material, the same material.
The same material.
Yeah, the same weight. Yeah. I take out the GANs and put more water and salt and comes again and again.
Yeah, but don't forget, when you nanocoat a copper wire, you create hundreds of thousands of layers. It's not
Yes,
just one layer.
yes, I know.
So you release, it'll take you weeks before you come to the copper surface, because you release a speck to the size of a ping pong ball. So you see that will be the position. So it's interesting to see if the material, the infinity ring, changes its color, or because it took us weeks, months before the copper plates lose their copper, and we keep on collecting copper oxide. A long time. So this is a very short time, and it could be you're releasing the copper oxide in the pure form. What you are doing in reality with putting the two magnets on the side, you are creating very much like what we call homeopathy, demagnetizing the oxygen. So the oxygen is not attaching itself to the copper. So what you're getting is you're creating non-oxygenated copper, because with the plates up to now when we're done, the instant the copper is released from its nano state to a GANS state, it interacts with the oxygen in the water and becomes copper oxide. And you get a blue or greenish bluish material. In your case, we're putting a magnet in there because oxygen is a magnetic material in the environment. With the infinity loop, you balance the oxygen out, so what you're getting is a pure nano copper. And that's why we see this color. I think, because I was analyzing this last night and yesterday afternoon, trying to understand the condition. And I think what you
I have
produce and Raman spectroscopy will show us is most probably pure copper coming from the nano state into a GANS state. It's a breakthrough, it's a major understanding in what you've achieved. So what you need to do, let's just say if you can nano coat nickel piece, make an infinity loop connected in the same way, even with a gold string which you attach to one corner, we see if we get still yellow material, then we can confirm it's a structure which with the color of it is yellow gold. But I'm sure if we do, maybe I'm 100% wrong, if you nano coat nickel or aluminum wire, make an infinity loop, go through the same process, try to use the same wire connecting the infinity loop to the magnet, which you release gravitational magnetic field of, let's say, nickel or aluminum. You should get pure nano material of the material which you nano coated. This placing of the magnet creates that condition.
Okay, I want to ask Mr. Keshe, what about the interaction with the heavy metals that are inside the magnets?
Those, they don't interfere. They are too strong to interfere with the oxygen. They go above it.
Okay.
It might be interesting to note that the neodymium magnets usually have a nickel coating on them, a nickel plating, pure nickel as opposed to chrome or something.
This magnet had a gold plated, not nickel plated.
Oh, you have gold-plated ones. Oh, I got it. Okay, I wasn't clear on that. Thank you for
Your
clarifying that.
magnets are gold plated.
I see.
Yeah. The magnet that is inside the water is gold plated.
Uh-huh.
So
they have a thin gold plating, but it's still nickel underneath the gold because they'll nickel plate it first.
Magnet?
You can buy them gold-plated, eh?
Yes,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Let's see what it is. Let's see if it is the condition. So you have a gold plate inside the disc, inside the water.
Yes, sir, I show you with the camera.
Okay,
Yeah, because what you showed me before
let's get the instant. We'll get the instant replay on that one.
Okay. Ah, yeah, okay. One moment. Okay, Rick, here is. Just too much light. Yeah, it's a vergolded magnet.
Yeah. And where did you get those magnets? Where were they obtained at?
That is in, I don't remember the name, or I can put the link later. Pardon? I bought that in Spain. But here in Deutschland, in Germany, there is the same firma, the same enterprise here.
Can you purchase it?
I know they're available in the U.S. from a place called K&J Magnetics. They have gold-plated magnets.
We should be able to purchase it ourselves.
I can give you later the link where I have buy it.
I'll make sure it gets to Mr. Keshe, and we'll see if he can get some of those if he wants them.
I make it with pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Please go ahead. Please go ahead with the explanation.
No problem. No, it's just that what we see and what is got to be tested. I'm trying to organize the material to be shipped for testing for Armen spectroscopy. And it should be done this week, hopefully, or early next week for you. And we see what we receive. If it is, because now with what you show, you put a gold with a copper.
Yes.
Do you see any change in the gold layering? of
in the
your
magnet.
magnet?
No, not big change. A little bit black, but the gold is there. The gold don't go out.
No. What do you mean by little bit black?
Yeah, the color from the gold magnet becomes a little bit black. Yeah, change a little bit the color, but you can still see the color from the gold.
But can you show us? Can we see the one you're talking about? You still see the color of gold, please? Can you detach that magnet without we can see it?
Okay, wait a minute, please. I tried to do it. I didn't do before. I put the camera.
English. Ah.
Important that we understand each other.
uh,
Can we see the magnet? It's very.
yeah, I am
That's a
trying to.
delay. Okay, you gotta
take-
wait till we receive the picture. We are a few seconds behind you.
Yeah.
It's
Here is
coming up.
the magnet. And here you can see the gold.
No, I want to see. So it's not the goldish, it's blackish now.
That is perhaps with the camera you cannot see, or the gold is there.
Yes,
Right?
but it's not as yellow as before. It's blackish gold.
Blackish gold. Had spots that is with this with gold. The other places in not full gold. All right. I see
I
the gold.
think what you are doing,
Is that a magnet or?
yeah. It's a magnet which has got the gold coat on it. And what is happening is doing exactly the reverse of the copper. He is most probably atomically releasing the gold from the coating, and he changes it to a GANS. In a way, he hasn't nano-coated the gold plate. He has created the condition of, without temperature of caustic, to do what we do with caustic. It's a new process of understanding, of producing GANs of gold. He is not creating environment of gold to create or absorb gold as we do with CO2. He's doing exactly what we do with copper plates. Because when we do the copper plates in a container, we see after the while that there is no more coating because it all becomes GANs. They become from nano separated. So we go back and re-coat the plate, yeah? So what he's doing here, he's creating a condition, it looks like it, that it creates gravitational magnetic field between the copper infinity and the gold, that gold plates of matter is becoming a nano and then it becoming a GANS automatically, and that's what is collecting. Most probably it shows gold, but this is producing GANs of gold, but not absorbing gold. No, it's not from the environment. It's from what is the gold which is on the magnet. Now we see it in the liquid, most probably. If it's
Yeah.
not copper, from the copper oxide.
Could there be
That's
gold
why.
in the salt water that might precipitate out, perhaps?
No. Now I see,
Not
because
enough of it?
I didn't understand this when I spoke with him, and that's why I assumed that the material will be copper. But now explaining it, don't forget when you make a coating or when you plate, gold plate these things, because he showed me a gold string before. Now I
Yes,
see
here.
his magnets there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But another thing.
I will do this. I will do this test here. We try to get this magnet, what do you call it, gold-plated magnet, The reason it's going black, now you're seeing the, what do you call it, the material of the magnets. That's why it's black. You're
Yes,
taking the plating off
one.
and you're changing it into GANs.
I had one neodymium magnet that I had in some vinegar, and the vinegar actually destroyed the coating, the nickel coating, right off the magnet and tore right into the neodymium and dissolved the magnet. And I ended up with this brown GANS-like material out of that experiment.
Yeah,
Well,
I have shown to the knowledge seekers some of the magnets we use for medical application for certain diseases. When the system comes back and I open up, that the magnets used for the process, they literally come back in powder sometimes, because the disease which is used for affects the condition of the magnetic field which is holding it. Because when the patient touches the container, transfers the energy, they don't understand the process. But because the volunteers hold the cup to drink from or breathe from, they become like the wire in the hand of Erick. So they connect, and then when we open the systems, we see the magnets we use for holding. There are sometimes there's one there, if you can bring it on the wall, I've shown it to you. On the frame wall, I can show it, we can go live and show you what happens. Diseases carry the same kind of plasmatic field. Pardon?
Sorry, I have a quick question for Erick.
yes,
Yeah,
please.
the gold-plated magnet is also attached to two pieces of gold. Is that right?
Yes.
It's inside the container, it's inside the liquid.
Yeah.
He means on the end of the
Yeah, what
magnet
he's
wire
showing
there,
right now.
Right, that's actually gold. Is that what you're
Those
saying?
two
Yeah,
Eric?
you
pieces
mean
of
the
gold
two
that you have
magnets
at
are
the
both
end there,
made of gold.
they have-
Erick, are they black at all?
Nine.
Are the two pieces that are end, are they black at all? I don't see any black pieces on
No,
there.
no. This is 18 kilats gold. The small pieces in 80 kilats gold. In moment, they looks like red. I am sure that they are 18 kilats gold. In moment, they have changed the color.
It could be pulling out the gold from that and leaving the copper behind, which would be more reddish, perhaps. It's usually the copper part of the carat of the gold that shows that color. It's interesting.
Yeah, the color from the gold is changed totality to red. To red. It is 18 kilats gold, and I know that. That is not shaped. This is 18 kilats.
It was a piece of jewelry, and it would be solid, not plated, right? Not gold fill, but actually solid gold. Is that correct?
Pardon, Rick, I didn't not understand.
Would those little pieces that you're pointing at with the toothpick, yeah, would they be solid gold, or they're not gold plate or gold fill or anything?
Solid gold, 18 kilats.
18 carat, right? Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. The magnets. Yeah. Please go ahead.
What you are doing is, yeah, because if you can put the camera on, I show you when we receive systems back from volunteers, we open it to analyze the effect of the disease. And sometimes, I'll be live on the camera. I don't know if you can see it. These are magnets which we open from the system we use for development of the health system. And can you see it? Are we live or not? You see it on our side. Okay. Well, I tried to show it to you. If you see, these are magnets which are literally destroyed. If you look at this magnet, we get magnets which they come literally half missing. The whole magnet, for example, a lot of magnets come back like this, with literally pieces missing, where they've been in a confined environment of the system. No, but I can see it. So even with diseases, we see the release of the field energy, what the body needs, into the condition. And you see it, try to show, ouch. This, if we can come close enough, this used to be one piece of magnets, and it just literally comes to pieces, and it's all looks like rusted. They've never been in touch with any, what do you call it, moisture to have this characteristic. So we change, even human body condition can change the matter. It works very much, as we say, like parotid glands. You can create a condition that the matter changes, and I do in the health section quite a lot. That when the body is short of, thanks very much, is short of, let's say, copper or aluminium or whatever, or short of certain materials, you can create, replicate the work of the, what you call, parotid gland. So we can interfere with the production of touches. This to me, as I said, it looks like he's atomically, it's another process without the use of caustic to create GANs of gold, and a mixture of copper and gold. Now I understand, because when I had the live sessions with Erick, he could not explain to me to understand that he was using gold in the magnet. And this gives the idea, the understanding of what it is. But in that position, to me, magnet was put outside as a holding position, but actually the magnet is gold plated. So with that condition, he creates an environment of releasing the gold without caustic, directly, without going through nano state into a GANS.
Mr. Keshe, do any applications for that material come to mind immediately for you? I bet.
Yeah. I know a lot of things you can do with this. You can do.
You maybe just hint or suggest a couple of things? If it is indeed GANs of gold, which would be a pretty particular, interesting substance.
It is not if. Let's say it is. What you do, this is what you do with CO2. This is what you're doing with copper oxide. You take the GANs as it is in that state. Now we see the process. We're going to repeat it here immediately. I think we can do it here. We have enough gold around this to do it, I hope, if it doesn't show it. You take the GANs of the gold, you fill up your ping pong balls with the GANs of the gold, and if you can make a star formation with the GANs, you can literally create an environment in your reactor which matches, if you know how to control it, which is easy to do, of attracting and balancing as one half of a twin star, as you've seen with Ebola and the test with Harvard University test you've seen, to attract gold. So this becomes extraction of gold from the environment. It's one of its immediate application, because you fill up your ping pong balls with the GANs of the material you want to attract. You can actually produce magnetic reveals like a positron of the gold and put it in the water and see how the other gold material come to it in the material in the plate. So this is a way to make and show the behavior or extract, let's say, gold from the seawater. Or you can, in this condition, don't use mercury to produce GANs of gold. This gives a new direction and dimension into production of gold if you know how to do it. You don't need to melt the material. You extract it in atomic structure. Even from the soil, not from the air. This opens up, this is what we're going to teach you later on. Once you start producing the materials, you create, as I said all the time for a long time, now maybe it can now to be done, is human knowledge has reached the point that you can make magnet for any material. Now that you can produce its atomic structure, and then you can create a field of the plasma as a free plasma of a gold in your system. So would you like to have the central bank reserve gold, which is sitting in the safes kilometers down in the vaults that nobody can go in? Gold has no value. Now this is a very, very effective way. Maybe that's why Erick Claussen was born, to show in his soul that gold has no value. You cannot hide it anymore. With what you have shown, central banks have no security guarantee and they can never find a thief, because you can download it anywhere. This is a nightmare what you just shown in the past few minutes, and you can support it. You don't need to sit on a gold reserve. You can just pass central bank of any country, and 1 second they have and 1 second they don't have. Because you extract molecularly, atomically, every single piece. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Let us test it and we show it, because the only way you can do it is to extract the GANs. What you can do, you don't need Raman spectroscopy, Eric. Try to don't dry the GANs you have, because once you dry it, you enter the matter state near. Try to use the liquid GANs, put it in a ping pong ball, attach it to a small motor, and put it in a bottle of water or whatever, and put another container nearby with the GANs, and see if you can extract it, if you can pull it. Yes, any of those, yeah. So I try to do this test here. And if you can do even this is what we went back. And we go back and I repeat it again. Human knowledge has got to the level that you do not need to produce magnets only for iron. Now you can produce magnet for any material by creating the plasmatic magnetic field of it. In fact, what you do, you create magnetic field of one atom of gold, and because yours is dynamically free, it will attract everything to itself. Okay, so it is a very, very interesting development, and as I always say, we are all born to serve a purpose. Maybe you have served your purpose with this to show that the gold has no value, and coming from a Spanish man is significant, because gold has been part of your culture for centuries. Yes, it's very interesting, and I congratulate you. If you have achieved this, you achieved a marvelous step.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. I think a lot of people around the world who watch this, try to do it yourself. Follow the steps which Eric has shown you. We try to do it immediately here, and then we try to show the power of it, that how you can make magnets for gold. So central banks are in total evaporation of their value.
So, Mr. Keshe, just a quick question before you go in other direction. I didn't get.
Hi, Lucia. I was waiting for you to come out of the woodwork.
Yes, I have some news for you, but now to be with Eric, I didn't understand.
Have you told CNN yet before you come online?
No, no, not yet. So what I didn't understand is that wire that is connecting the double loop of copper nano-coated wire is going to the magnet. So I'm assuming that is touching the magnet, is in physical contact,
Yeah, it's
not solder.
connected to the magnet outside.
So what will be the
There are two
purpose?
magnets.
Because
There is one inside, one outside.
right. So just in physical contact and probably being gold, which is a non-magnetic material, will not be able
It is
to, how to
magnetic.
say. So
It
you are
is
trying to say
magnetic.
that the field strength of the magnet will be using that wire like a guide way into the loop
Yes.
nano-coated to put energy or to
Yes.
remove energy?
To put
In which way?
energy to detach the atomic structure of the gold from the magnet or the gold which is inside. Don't forget, this is what we do in caustic. We add energy through the heat of caustic to separate, to free the molecules to atomic that become nanomaterial coated, and then we put it in a salt condition that it brings a balanced magnetic field that becomes a GANS. With this process, maybe you see
Yes,
that
but
he
I
showed it to
understand.
you. Now you can see. You
Yes,
see,
but
he shows you the full apparatus.
the question would be the gravitational magnetic field of copper oxide probably should be greater than gold to be able to achieve what you said. I'm assuming.
No, no, no. You take what you need. I think if you change the magnet inside to a silver coated magnet, you will release silver from it. This is the beauty of the plasma. And secondly, the wire brings it to the matter level. That wire he's using is not nano-coated. It's an ordinary wire. So now you have converted the fields from the infinity loop into the electron field as a matter level. It's a very
That's clear
tricky
now.
situation. It's a very tricky situation he has created. He transfers enough energy from the loop as a plasma through the wire into matter level electrons, but the flow must be in a plasmatic level, not electron movement. That plasmatic field is cross the magnet outside and inside, that the gold magnet inside receives a plasmatic field, not electron field of a plasma. You understand? So this is
Yes,
what you
that is
did
clear now.
with your process. The field is not electron. The current between the infinity loop and the gold magnets inside is not in the electron vibration. It's in electron plasmatic gravitational field level. And because it's in that state, it can energize the gold, what do you call it, atoms to be released. We do the heating in caustic. Here is done the energy in a different way. And it's fantastic. That's a beautiful way to do it.
That's clear now.
So, you understand?
And next question is why Eric would twist the wires between the two hemispheres or spheres, because it looks like he twisted the wire. Is any reason
Which
for
one?
that?
The one
The
in the
consequence?
water? If the
Yes.
one in the water, you mean, this is known as the infinity loop. Infinity loop is a twinity.
Right.
Twinity brings balance, and I use it quite a lot. If you go to some cultures, the infinity loop, behavior of the infinity loop is well known. Because you hold the field. If, for example, let me explain to you, if you can't go to sleep, or you live in a house which has got a water flow, or you have a disturbance in the house, in certain rooms, you feel emotional disturbance. Get yourself a copper wire, maybe let's say 1 meter long. Go to electric shop, buy yourself a single electric wire. Twist it in the infinity loop, but do not connect the last end, and put it on the carpet, put it under your bed. You'll find out, you'll find peace, and the environment of the room changes. This is an old culture, but with a plasmatic magnetic field, with a GANS state, because it's a plasma, you have to close the loop.
Should the infinity loop have one end that's a little bigger than the other?
No,
They
you just go,
they're both the same.
just
Both
make
the
a
same.
wire. The easiest way it is make a wire and encircle it, close it, and then just twist it in half and make a loop. The infinity loop, this is a twinity loop, it's known as an infinity loop, and because it's in not a matter level, is in the nano layer, the gravitational magnetic field of the two loops brings balance in the environment. We know this very well. I use this quite a lot in the development of especially medical side. This is how you bring balance between the soul and physicality. This is
How
what
many?
It
I
looks like
say.
Eric has one end open,
No, it's
one of
twisted
the
together.
circles.
Yeah. Get yourself, make a nano wire, close it as a circle, and twist it in the middle in two halves, that you may have two loops. Yeah. Um, the then you see it in the psychological psychosomatic. You need this process, because if you open some of the reactors of the health section, you see this. I use this quite frequently, because you need it to bring balance between one is the physicality and one is the physicality, but you have to know what it means and how you do it and the strength you do it, and then you bring peace to man. This is a very this is part of the creation. This is what we say, the life of the earth of this solar system comes to end, because the twinity, when they come together, create that balance to become one. That's why when you go to the medical side, I keep on explaining, that's why you see the physical part of the brain next to the emotional part of the brain, because one half encircles the other one, but the emotional part does not need to be as big as the physical part, but its strength is much bigger because it's more compact, it has a higher mass. Magnetic gravitational field of the emotional part of the human body is by factor of thousands of times stronger than the gravitational magnetic field of the physical part. That's why you have the separation bridge to adjust it according to when it comes to physicality. If you look at the human body, thalamus sits, and then you have the separation gap, and then you have the physical brain. It's a twinity. It does nothing in the universe works outside the principle of the balance of gravitational magnetic field. And this is how human body, and that's what I say always, human body, physical part is a leech which is attached itself to the emotional part. This is part of the twinity system, this is part of the structure. And what Erick has done here, bless your soul, it's a beautiful job you've done. It shows this property. I always said to you in a different way, I create GANs without caustic. And he has done it in a very, very simple way, and now you can see it. It's strange enough, scientists around the world, individuals around the world, without the scientific knowledge, out of the knowledge of their own inner being, are creating systems and developing things that opens up outside the laboratories without millions and billions of expending to show is there. What he has achieved with less than, God knows, a few cents, opens how you can produce materials, and actually how material converts inside your body to what is needed at the point of need. In this material, you'll find some copper, pure copper, and you'll find some gold. And the color of it will tell you, it's very much I was explaining to earlier. It's like when you buy Russian gold, it's reddish than the gold you buy in the West, because they add copper into their gold. And this color, from the time I saw it, I always said this is a reddish copper in some of the things I've seen with Erick. Don't forget, Erick has been sending me pictures for past few weeks. Every time he's developed something. And I've spoken with him on the Skype a couple of times.
Okay, sir, I will.
Thank you very much. But this is a, so instead of caustic, create an infinity loop, and you see, test everything else, test aluminium, test nickel. Let's see what
Okay,
that
sir.
is.
Perfect. I will, and I inform you.
That's got nothing to do with this. That's what it is. It's got to stay. Any other question?
Yeah, I have a question. How many twists for that infinity loop should we use?
Yes. Look my
You
hand.
just change your finger. Yeah, go on ahead. Go ahead, Erick.
Yes. I loop. One loop. One loop.
He's trying to show us something.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was quite clear. He showed 2 half twists to make a full loop, basically.
Do you listen me? Are you listening?
We are listening, but the picture is a bit later than yours.
Okay, what I say
You
is
see the future, we see the past.
what I make here is one loop, not only one loop. With the I twist one loop the wire.
If you go back to what Lucian showed us a few weeks ago with the loop around the filled-in metal with GANS, you achieved that kind of process, but in a different way.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you indeed. Any other question?
Yeah, I have one more question about the brain, since you brought it up. Sometimes I'll be sitting and I'll tune myself into these different energies, and I see colors. It's like a current of different colors flowing through the air, and then sometimes physical objects will disappear from my sight even though I know they're there. What's going on?
You explain, you see it, we are not there.
I'm asking you if you know.
I think, are you sure you're drinking coffee or tea?
I'm sure I don't drink alcohol or anything.
The stars are big.
Don't forget, it depends how you focus your neural system in your eye. The human in the future will teach. There is a process within the liquid of the eye that you can adjust to see different dimensions that the neural system can understand.
Is it true, Mr. Keshe, that more and more people on planet Earth are starting to experience those transformations, do you think? Or is that evolution is occurring more rapidly?
Let me explain to you something you understand. Maybe I can explain it the way I'm doing if you understand. There are people who are listening to this workshop, they know exactly because they were there when I did the test. A few years ago in Belgium, we had a girl being in university who went blind on a flight from South America, I think, to Belgium. And she was blind for about a year. I understood the process, what she's done and what is gone through. I built a very simple system and I was holding it in my hand, and I asked her to come in a dark room with me in the house where we were doing the testing. And I placed the system on the back of her head and she could see. She said she can see again. And when I removed it, she lost her vision. And I said to her, if you want, I can develop a system that you can have your vision back. And strange to my shock, and I think Willy in Belgium can tell you because he knows about it, she's refused. It was a big question for me and other people why a young girl in the early 20s refuses vision. And she wanted to be blind. And the conclusion I came in, and in a way I've seen it, it's a repetition of human body. All her life she was looking for attention. And blindness gave her the attention. So the satisfaction of existence was fulfilled. Because when she was blind, people were carrying her around, giving her attention. Do you need help? Do you want this? Do you want that? And it's a very strange position. So you create conditions that visions become possible. There are people in Belgium, again, Keshe Foundation, people who used to be there, they can tell you, we did this with a member of the, what do you call it, family in Saudi Arabia. We could not ship the system to Saudi because of the restrictions. I was told by the Saudi ambassador I cannot go because of my passport situation. One of the Keshe Foundation members at that time flew to Dubai, and these people flew into Dubai, they received the system. And with the system, there is a member of the family of the governing rules party that they have a 13-year-old girl, blind, totally white eye, which means the eye is white. And within a matter of weeks, she could see colors, blue, red, and green, with no, what do you call it, the brown piece on the eye. We facilitated through a system that she could see. And then again, she refused to use it. Because by seeing, she was told, you have to do what, now you see, you can do it. And she preferred not to use the system. You got to understand the need of the man and how man comes. So for that reason, I stopped a lot of research into eye development. But you can adjust the eye to see different things. Even you don't have the brown piece or the hole in the eye that you can receive light, you can create that the tissue of the eye become transparent to see things. And if you use this property, in what we said, we make the universal tank that you can see entities, we create that condition. And amazingly enough, we are reaching that kind of process very rapidly. We can show things, we can, now that we are receiving a lot of requests for collaboration by different governments and organizations that they can replicate our systems. Soon we can bring these things into vision of the man to see. Because, as I said, you change the gravitational magnetic field of your eye in the liquid of the eye to be able to convert the magnetic gravitational field of the entity into a recognized entity by the vision of the man into his brain. This is not something abnormal, it's something you know, but you, because of not understanding, we have decided to ignore, but we use it ourselves. We go into a dream, and in that dream at night, we see our mother, our father, or our relatives which are not with us physically anymore. How do we do this? We transfer the plasmatic magnetic field information like a telephone to a telephone number. So, oh, this is Papa calling, or this is Mama calling. Now we start teaching that process to man to understand. And all it is, we're changing gravitational magnetic field in the level of the existence. This is how you will see other creatures of, what do you call it, universe. You learn the adoption. We will make tools to be able to transfer, convert the information, very much what happened in E. coli or Ebola. You make the matching to match. then it's the information which is carried. These are what is changes to come, and slowly it's coming up, and slowly, because it's coming slowly, done by people, for the people, amongst the people, it gets accepted by the people, becomes part of the nature, part of the natural process of living. So you can change. All you need to do, you go back to the information through the emotion to your parotid glands, because it's your wish and the condition you have created. The parotid glands change the salinity and the material conformation and change in the liquid of the eye. So the eye converts the information to visual thing, then you will see the entity, which was not visible to you. Is the wish. And to see, your wish has to be equal to the wish of the what you want to see. I shall not steal, I shall not damage, I will not do anything which is wrong to what I want to see. And then, because the wish is gravitational plasmatic, from the emotional part, and as in Ebola, or Ebola, as Elliot would like me to call it, you have the common denominator of the amino acid between the virus and between the CO2, which is the fat on the top you add into the body. In the case of interaction with other entities in the universe, the common denominator is the soul of the man. Now, the human emotion becomes the virus. But because you have a common denominator that it tells there is no danger, you connect with the other entity and becomes visible to you. And you do that through the emotion. Because it's safe, your parotid glands change the salinity of the eye liquid, so you are able to see what is in common in the soul. This is exactly what you do in your dreams. Maybe for the first time man can understand where the dream comes from. The dreams, when you dream, you connect through the soul with the soul which you are in contact with. And that's the telephone number. Gives you visuality. Even the scenery you see yourself in is the same level. Huge part of the physical part of the brain, which man says man never uses, is used for the, what they call deciphering of the information to the telephone number and where it comes from. Then it becomes visual dream. That's why we dream when we are asleep, because the physicality is in repair. It does not use the neurosystem so extensively. Now you understand how you connect to your grandfather who died 20 years ago, 100 years ago, and you know it's your grandfather. You connect through the emotional part, your thalamus, to the soul of the person. And when that soul wants to call you or communicate with you, just dials the number. Yours is a specific. This is what I was talking to Dr. Elia and Armen walking around the park. Your soul is yours, and it's got your telephone number. It doesn't come from another body, doesn't go from one body to another, and doesn't reborn. Otherwise, can you imagine how many times, how many lives you're reborn, and the telephone call goes to 20 people, it becomes a conference call, nobody knows which soul is talking? Elia understands because she laughs, because she was trying to explain to me, they say there are 12 levels, and the 12 levels goes to 7. I said, stand before you go any further. Why 12? Why 7? Because man has this, anything which has digit numbers in it has man's behavior and restriction. There are 7 levels and there are 12 strength, and they do. 12 comes from 12 months and 7 comes from the 7 days of the week. So man can explain his own limitation of understanding. So now maybe you understand how your soul connects to the soul, And the common denominator is the CO2, exactly with the GANS and with the virus. Then you know the telephone number is yours, you answer. Doesn't matter, it's your great grandfather, or it could be the, what do you call it, the pharaohs from 6,000 years ago. If you have the telephone number, you connect. If it's the same gravitational magnetic field, you connect. And part of this connection, telephone number, sits in your RNA, in the magnetic field section, not in the DNA, which is a physicality. So in your RNA, you have all the telephone numbers, all the man existed on this planet and the universe. It's just which one you want to call. So when man is ready to see, when the man ready accepts what we call the universal peace, that it doesn't harm the other soul, the other souls are open to him to understand, then through your thalamus, you create a magnetic field which informs your parathyroid glands to release or convert through the, what you call your thymus, the salinity and the magnetic field of the matter in the liquid of your eye, that it becomes visible to you or invisible because you pass its field strength. That's why I see a lot of pictures around something appears and disappears. In fact, it's there, but it's not at the vision strength at the time when it was taken the picture. And you find out these things are part of the structure of the universe. Aliens don't have cars with 4 wheels, and the people say, have you seen them? They come with a car and they go everywhere. This is how man transfers the information to the level he can understand. A Volkswagen, a Mercedes, or a donkey. So if you live in a village, you've never seen a car, so you dream a donkey going through the wall. And if you live in New York, you see a Jaguar going through the wall, or a Porsche. It's the vision what you translate the information to. This is very important because the vision of man with this technology changes. We start seeing things we haven't seen, but we have to understand one thing. As long as we learn not to harm and accept what we send out, even with the kids today, the World Peace Treaty, world we say peace with yourself, and then the world will be at peace, the universe will open to you. Because you accept the agreements of the universal peace. Then there is no limit to the knowledge. Any other question?
Mr. Keshe, there was a question that someone had about the free plasma GAN state. You mentioned in the 33rd workshop, you showed how the pyramid or star geometry of the 4 reactors creates a free plasma GAN state in the middle, like the King's Chamber in the Great Pyramid in Egypt. Question about the pineal gland. Does the geometry of the brain set up an equivalent free plasma GAN state in the pineal gland? Should we save that for the health workshop?
Yeah, wait. We have Dr.
The expert. We need the expert.
We have the expert here. Now you know why we have the resident doctor here. This is your
Yeah, hello from my side. About the pineal gland.
Can you show the position of pineal gland?
Yeah, I will try to show to Mr. Keshe. Just 1 second. If you want, just download some picture of the brain.
Go to Google
Pineal gland, just choose
pictures.
Yeah, I choose from here, just show to Mr. Keshe.
You see what we see.
It is your thalamus, and pineal gland is here on the thoracic cell. In other side, thalamus, pineal gland. Actually,
Explain to them what is the work of pineal gland.
Pineal gland. So all the regulation comes first from thalamus. Thalamus informs pineal gland what to do. The pineal gland has anterior part and posterior part, and they synthesize the regulation hormones for all other glands on your body. This is the regulation of hormones. So thalamus regulate the pineal gland, and pineal gland regulate all the other glands on your body. They have inhibitor regulation hormones and how is it in English? To hormones which decrease the hormones of other glands and hormones which increase the level of
Other glands.
yeah, understand? So the same inhibitor and releasing hormones have thalamus, but he regulates the pineal glands, and pineal glands go other. So the pineal glands is like a reception
For the glands.
for the glands.
Some people call it the third eye as well. It's known as the third eye, right?
Yeah, okay. Now, yeah. Yes, what is it? Speak. Speak now.
So about the third eyes, we spoke, if you remember, when we spoke about the skull, that the third eyes is actually in a back of your skull, if you remember the workshop. So the third eyes is actually your thalamus, is reflection of your thalamus. Just if you are able to go to the pictures of face and skull workshop, when we explain about the embryology of brain and position of brain, of emotional part of the brain, and how the embryo just is folding upward the head, and because of that the thalamus go actually on the position of the neck. And then in the adult person, actually the thalamus outside point is on your outer part of your skull, on your back.
The third eye is on the back, not the pineal
The
gland.
understanding is not that we know up to the moment that the third eye is between our elbows, in our forehead, and what actually everyone speak about the pituitary. And if you are aware about the metaphysical knowledge, you may find out that actually third eye related with the sign with Antakarana when they speak in metaphysical Reiki knowledge. And Antakarana is actually placed between the pituitary gland and pineal gland. And in the middle of these two glands, like a dimensional position, is your thalamus. Actually, Antakarana is your thalamus. Do you understand? And after the moment, is this discussion between the seventh chakra belongs to pituitary or to pineal gland. And they get to conclusion that actually seventh chakra is related with that science. And space in your brain, Antakarana, and actually the center of Antakarana is your thalamus. If I explain it to you clearly and you are able to understand.
What is the pituitary gland? What is their job and what is the pineal?
Pituitary is here, pineal is here. They have regulation of function from the glands on your body.
Okay, so they
They
can. Here, come with you're too far.
They receive information from the glands in your body and transform information to thalamus. Okay. And thalamus to the other part of the brain. Understand?
Okay,
so
okay, this is now goes back into other teaching which we did before in some of the workshops, that I always explain that the glands are part of the brain structure. And if you, yes, the pineal glands and pituitary glands are the communication line between the emotion and physicality. One is for the emotional part of the gland, and the other one is for the physical part of the gland. So they carry two information to the brain itself, because it's as I explained, and I go back on it that just to refresh, is that the glands are part of the brain, and because the function of the organ is so heavy, instead of reporting everything back to the brain to operate, the can you hear me?
I can hear you on Skype,
Yeah,
but
we
I don't
can
know
hear
about
you.
your live
Yes.
stream.
You can
Yeah,
hear, yeah, okay,
we
because
can hear
earlier
you.
told me you don't. So is the live, is your live stream which is not on? Is the live stream on, muted, or is it working?
The live stream went out for me too, also.
It seems to be okay in live
Is
stream.
it okay?
Yep, I believe
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
You're
back
okay in
on.
yeah,
live
I've
stream,
tested
okay.
on live stream here
So
too.
we're
It's
gonna
good.
go back. That's good, okay. So we go back to, if you missed anything. As we said, the glands are part of the brain system. And in a way, brain, instead of receiving continuously information about the operation of the organ, it has played its own headquarters on top of it, and we call it glands. That's why the gland sits outside the kidney, over it. That's why we have glands in certain positions for every organ, or every operation of the number of systems around the body. And or we have a headquarters that operates overall. So glands are actually the structure of the brain. And for brain to put a boss over a working of a system, then all these bosses need to report to the headquarters, but not to the top boss. So they go through the pituitary gland and the other one. And one controls the physicality change wherever the function is important for the survival of the emotional part of the brain has put an SPI in the system, or a subdivision, to control it that no harm comes to the emotional part. Because if the emotional part is damaged or stops working, in conjunction and in equilibrium as a twin star with the physical part, this is the end of the physical life. This is what you call death. This is what yesterday I was trying to explain to Armen. He has understanding that everything has to be perfect, and if it's not perfect, there is something somewhere. But you have to understand, the second you are born, you are destined to die. We are born to die, to develop the structure of the soul of the man. Death is the attribute and the beauty of the Creator, which gives for the recycling of the information and spread of knowledge across the universe. And because he is the possessor of totality, he is invincible, because he owns and he just converts. As I always say, God is the creator and the man the converter. So when you have glands and you have substation of control like pineal gland, pineal gland, is to operate how they have to react to the emotional part of the brain, in respect to the organ, in respect to the glands which is placed in there, and how they have to interact and inform the physical part what to do with what they need. It's very much, as I say, it's like a chef which is a cook for everybody else, but then he goes to a hotel to get, or to a restaurant to feed and eat somewhere else himself, because he still needs feeding. The structure of the life in a human body is a progressive development of the need of the man according to the intelligence of the man with respect to his environment. So as now our intelligence changes and demands a new vision for us with the new knowledge we gain, our human body will evolve to adapt for the vision of what is needed to be done. So Now that we have opened the door of the science in the plasma technology, and the man has the new vision to be able to see or need to see the glands like parathyroids and subparathyroid glands will adopt the body for this change. I always refer this to the daughter of our friend in Belgium. She had the desire to be a harp player, and the body adjusted to it in 1 generation, in less than 10 years. If your desire is there, the body will oblige, and the desire comes to interaction of the soul, where your soul now knows is ready to reach and interact your physicality to the friends, so it's preparing the body to be able to see. The life and the existence of the other souls in the universe is open to your soul, because they're of the same level. Now the knowledge of the man and the soul is getting the body ready to see it. If you can wish to die and you can create ILS, now the wish of the man is to interact with your universal community, and the body is getting adjusted. We bring the knowledge, we bring the science, and in time we show you how it's done. So we need the operation of the pineal gland and pituitary gland to make the adjustment to physicality through the interaction of the soul, emotion, and the physicality. Emotion wants it, but physicality has to adjust for it to satisfy the need of the emotion. It's like when you're in love, you die to show your lover, what you fall in love with, to your parents, to see what I fall in love with, how beautiful it is. Now the soul of the man is preparing the body of the man with this knowledge we have brought in to show the man to the universal community. And that's the purpose of release of this technology and knowledge to man, to open the new eye into what the soul has been in love with all the time. Other souls, which is peaceful. And now we see the change. This is the time of transition. You will start seeing the development of operation of new glands to satisfy this need. You will start seeing things because your soul has reached the point of maturity. You think you're ready to be introduced to the family. But there's no use if you're blind, you can't see the family, or you don't hear them. What we call distant cousins. I want to introduce you to your cousins you haven't seen before. But these cousins live in the span of the universe. And now we're getting ready for it, and we're preparing man to see the change. Otherwise it'll be magician, and they came and they went, there was such a thing.
That's our
Now
cousins
we
that
become
are
part of that.
not our monkey
Pardon?
cousins. Not our monkey cousins you're talking about. The other end of things. We usually talk about our
That's the
cousins
physical
and the
side,
monkeys.
darling. We are talking about outside the dimension of the vision of the man at the present time.
Way beyond the monkey.
Even your monkey cousins you should see.
Okay.
So pineal glands, and we did a very interesting test yesterday with Elia. She's laughing, I can hear her in the background. Yesterday morning, I set the system up to evaluate, to understand the thinking of Elia without her physicality. So I sat her in front of the system, and as usual, I ask my questions, or I guide her to what I want to see. And then I never done this with other knowledge seekers, but with her, because it's important, I picked the chair up and I set her behind the detector, or what you call the third eye, and I explained to her, now you're sitting behind, where you were sitting in the position before, you are facing the detector. You are facing the entity. So what you want to be perceived by the receiver. And then when I moved her to back of the system, which is exactly 180 degrees on the other side, I said, now imagine this is your daughter, you cuddle, she's in front of you, she doesn't see. You're holding from the back, you're holding what you love, and I want you to give and take. And this explains a lot. Because when you're holding, you're behind and you watch, you don't expect, because you know there are no arms, there are no lips to kiss, to cuddle, or whatever. It's you who is the giver or the receiver, or what you want to receive from what you're holding, which is God is back to you. Then it shows the pure intention. It shows the state of the maturity of the soul. When you sit in front of it, shows your purity in respect by nature of the man to understand what I want them to see. I'm a very good guy, I'm perfect, I'm a beautiful woman, I'm a beautiful giver. But to the system you cannot lie. It's the same wire we twisted. We create a loop of infinity. What goes into the body goes back into the system and is pure and it shows everything. Then when I put her in the back of the system to sit in the same position where you hold, then you cannot lie. Then you deal with what you call a third eye. Then you lead, you live and you interact only with emotional part irrespective of physicality. Be a lover, be a child, be a dog, be aliens. Then you see the character of the man, the character of the person. Who is deceiving who and how much they are taking when they are supposed to give. And she says you go cuckoo. Yeah, so she says the conclusion was I was a cuckoo. So it is important to understand. Now there are systems which can be set, is in the position of the man, to understand what you want on the craft. Do you want a bunch of thieves who are looking like priests, or do you want the people who are poor but pure? It's very easy. Now, with the development of this technology, you deal with the essence of the creation, and through it, if you are trying to hide and duck and dive, not to show the reality, I'll show you the process how the soul will open your hand in no time. Because soul has to be correct, and through its work, the emotional part of the man has to be correct. So now you thought you came in for a game to have a bit of free energy. We have brought you very, very slowly, without you knowing, into the world of the creation, that you understand the totality. But we had to play the game. It's like, you know, you want a cat to play, you put a little piece of meat at the end of the string and then you pull it and pull it that the cat comes and you can catch it. We play the game with you. Now you're in our hand. Now you know what the plan is. Or part of it, you think you know all of it. The bait was the teaching. The bait was bringing up the technology in the GANs, in other bits, and in you lot doing it because you thought you're in charge, you can understand. Now we can enforce what we like. Now the knowledge is spread deep enough that even poisoning us by so many factors, it doesn't work. I bet the Belgians are going up the wall. We poisoned this guy, anybody else would have died. I don't carry, even I look, the body of the man. So you cannot poison. You might affect it temporarily, but in time, the process resets itself. I take what I need according to the body of myself. So you have to understand, if you sit and you pressurize your eyes and change things and you don't want to see, you're going into the evolution of understanding how to change the salinity of your of the physical part, which is in a liquid state, is easier to change it than a physical part. Then you can see, and this is what we do with the ganses. And you will learn in time how to change it so rapidly that you can see 2 or 3 creatures at the same time, or in one after another. It's like receiving a telephone call from uncle and then have a laptop and you receive pictures from Facebook. Your body will start recognizing because you adapt to it, which one to trigger. Next question.
Thank you for that, Mr. Keshe.
Lucian, very quick one. A very quick question. In the beginning, you mentioned something about GANS leaks. So I don't know if you was referring on the new copper reactors. GANS leaks
Pardon,
from
what
the
about
reactors.
what? Yes.
GANS leaks.
Yes, yes. It's
Losing
the water,
gas.
not the GANS. Yeah, we lose water,
so
not the GANS.
From the copper reactors.
No, what happened when we insert the nanomaterial into the GANS through the wall of the plastic or a container, plastic container, the GANS materials, due to their property, are not, even they look to be solid, they are like a heartbeat. They continuously move. It's a dynamic ocean of magnetic fields. And this dynamic motion creates a gap at certain points when it contracts and it keeps on expanding. To you, it's solid matter. You look at the nanomaterial. But if you look at, if you can get this aura and be able to detect this aura, you will see it's dynamic. It opens and closes. It's like a heartbeat. Depends what is the gravitational magnetic field of the environment that is around. So this heartbeat creates gaps that allows the evaporation of the water through the gap created. If you made the first Coca-Cola bottles with the bits sticking in it, and you can still got it and go back to it, you see that when you made it, you put the glue, it was solid. And now you see you can turn it. You can turn the electrode because of this property. Because the GANS has grown by the side of the wires, now it has time to move. It has created itself a gap. And then you see that the nanomaterial grows from the inside up to the tip of the wire, which has been outside. You never put it inside the core because it grows. This is how neurosystem grows in the body of the man. Next atom to the next atom conversion. It's the same process. We know about this leakage for 10 years. But finding a solution that you can seal it will allow the man to have a neuro energy systems in a perfect way. And even there is a way to do it. I've done it before, but it needs to explain that the manufacturers can do it. At the moment, this is the barrier in commercialization. It has to be solved within the next week or so. Because most probably our Chinese colleagues in China would have producing systems. Pardon?
You are referring to the new GANS reactors that are... So you was speaking about the GANS reactors that Armen did them? They're losing that water to that O-ring?
No, these are the energy cells which have gone to Tokyo to be produced for the Japanese government. We sent one of the systems to Tokyo about 4 weeks ago. There was something strange which just happened with talking about it with one of the reactors of Armen. Yesterday when they opened one of the reactors to increase the GANS, there was no liquid in it. And Armen was a bit surprised that there was no liquid. And that has been a tight system. Armen has to explain or understand himself how he's lost his water, as we say, in that reactor. The other 3 reactors were full with liquid. That single system maybe is not tight enough. Marco says we extracted 2 syringes of liquid from the others and 1 was dry or no liquid in it. But this is a sealed system,
so we have to keep an eye on our electric to to fill it with water constantly. Thank you.
You're breaking up. Vince, you're breaking up. Can you repeat?
I was saying we need to keep an eye on our electric cells and fill them regularly with water to prevent their drying. So thank you for letting us know.
Yeah, it's just that the way to do it, there is a way to do it. I'll try to explain it in the next session if I remember. Because this position has to be solved before the energy units can be released in Japan. Because you can, what happened when they tested the systems in Tokyo last week, which was for the presentation, they were in a panic state, and then I said most probably your system is leaked because they can't understand it, how a sealed system can have no what they call liquidity, and I explained to them this is the situation. So we know about this for nearly 10 years plus. And I found a solution for it, but now trying to find a solution to commercialize it is very, very difficult. But in a way, you have to create the skin of the man to hold the matter inside, the plasma GANs inside, and allow the body of the man to live in a matter environment. It's easy to be done, but it needs a small technical development. Otherwise, the batteries you buy after, let's say, a month or so, it says dry, is not working. Because the gravitational magnetic field on the nano layer does not evaporate the water. It allows it to be released in the atomic structure. Very much a GANS vapor. So it has to be narrow enough, or put it as a magnetic field balance enough that no fields can escape in any shape or form. It can be done. I should release it to the Japanese and hopefully our Chinese guys who will go into production soon.
Mr. Keshe, I'm just showing now on live stream the video by Vitor of the nano-coated copper wire forming GANs. This is I think it's over 4 hours, but it's sped up over just a few seconds, like to show the transformation that occurs over the wire. I don't know if you're able to see your live stream right now. I don't think I can do screen sharing on it.
Yes, we can see it.
He's done some of these time-lapse videos of the GANs actually forming on the wire.
This is beautiful.
It's amazing. I'll just run that one more time.
You see, it comes.
Are you screen sharing that, Rick?
You see it, it's on the surface, the bubbling, and that's when it separates. I told you, the scientists will open this in no time. What will be interesting, if anybody has a quote-unquote aura detector, can follow this process and see how the field changes around it.
I had a question regarding what the gases might be that are coming off that wire. You know, hydrogen or oxygen might come to mind.
These are partially both.
Or not.
Yes. Watch this.
Okay.
Watch this one.
No, Rick, the screen share is not coming through. Where's the file located so I can see about maybe trying to show
It's
what I'm doing?
repeating the same video. It's a short-term video.
But who done this? Who's the author of the
No,
video?
no, no. Somebody has done it. Don't know. Who's done the video, Rick?
Vitor. He's the same one who did the animation for the kids workshop, and the other 3D impression of the magnetic fields. And there's another little video similar. This one. So I guess the Skype screen sharing isn't working at all, eh, guys? Should I stop?
We can see it.
No, I don't see it at all.
No, we can.
Yeah, you're watching on live stream.
On live stream, people
Watching
can
on
see
live
it,
stream,
but not on the Skype. Apparently, I can't get it to do that screen sharing, so I'll just stop that.
But I can see it on
Yeah.
Skype.
Oh, you can see it on Skype?
Yes.
Okay,
You just
sorry.
take it out.
Oh, I couldn't see it.
I just took it off. Okay, so now I'm on to a different video.
I'm going to share something very nice. I think it's good to know, but we don't give you anything away. Yesterday, when they were packing the first kits, CO2 kits to go out, I was shown that one of the kit openly is purchased by a prime minister. And one of the kits, CO2 kits, is openly purchased by one of the military, governments, by the military themselves. And they are openly purchasing these systems because the address is the office of the prime minister. And the other one is the office of the headquarters of military base. So when we tell you there are people, we were not aware that the prime minister is watching of one of the leading European nations, that he's purchased it under his own, directly to his office. So the technology is getting literally watched by governments to understand the implication and application of it. And when scientists like this, normal people, not scientists at the high labs with billions of backup, are showing the technology and how it's done, brings home how there is a need for rapid change from the bottom to top. As I said before, a lot of professors hate us because the titles have no more meaning. A simple man with a simple equipment can show the process. Any other question? Oh yes, Dr. Elia wants me to tell you something very important. Let me say this is very important from medical aspects. Somebody has asked Dr. Elia if they can inject the CO2 into your body. Please do not do these stupid things. Let the scientific world do the further developments. We give them time, another 3-6 months, we will understand the whole process. Because if you inject the CO2 in your body, you introduce a foreign element which can clog up the system. That is very much the way it absorbs and it connects with the GANS of the virus. If it does in your body and it clogs up, paralysis, or heart attack, and everything else can be part of it. Please do not go beyond the limits till it's tested in a separate ways, in different ways. Now we know it, and now when you consume it or when you breathe its energy, your body takes what it needs and it locks to and it rejects it. This is the beauty of it. But when you put it in a circulation, which is a closed circuit like blood, then you can create a blockage. Next question. Are we talking to ourselves? Planet
No, we're
Earth,
here.
any
Question.
questions?
Ivan has a question here on GoToMeeting, and then Eric wants to make a statement, I do believe.
Hi, Mr. Keshe, can I ask a question?
Who's that?
It's Ivan. I'm from Bulgaria.
Hi, Ivan.
Hi, everybody. So my question is a little bit strange, but I spoke with other
Everything is
people
strange
around
with
the
the
world.
Bulgarians.
I know, Ele.
I've got one of them
Hello.
walking around us around this table, so carry on.
So my question is that from some time ago, I start to do some exercise, and I think I'm able to put my muscular system like a standby. And because you said that 80% of the communication in the body go from the GANS, I think I'm able to go through the feeling through the GANS to see how the energy go in the body. And I was very curious to understand this energy, so I was reading books about prana and stuff, but when you say that 80% is going from the GANS, I think actually with only with intention, no physical movement, we are able to go through different parts of the body and just check how it is there. Is that the case, or I don't know?
Can you repeat the question, please, slowly?
So, I'm able to go in a condition when I can put all the muscles in the body on standby. I mean, not moving, no nothing, and I can feel energy going from the body, from different parts. And only through my intention to which part I can concentrate, I can feel the energy flow in this direction. Like example, when I hurt my shoulder, you know the feeling is pain. But when you go in standby, you can feel actually that there is energy going from the head to the shoulder and like a flow. Like, is that the GANs communicating or moving?
I don't know. I cannot. I don't understand. I don't understand the way you create the condition. Yeah. Another Bulgarian is trying to explain to me. Wait 1 second.
And he's not moving.
Yeah.
He's not moving anything. He concentrates on the shoulder, just concentration, and he's able to feel that if something's going on inside, like a circling the energy, something alive inside without moving. So the question is, he feels the GANS communication between the muscles or skin and...
I don't know. I don't know how you feel and what you feel. Because don't forget, there is, and I've spoken about this before, as part of our operation of the thalamus in conjunction with the body, that, and I always say, the physical information neurosystem is 20%, 80% is done through the plasmatic field. That you can divert and actually change the operation of the physical part of the body. And the man must have been very good at it, but somehow down the line we have forgotten how to do it. Because lizards still remember it and they can use it. You cut the tail of a lizard and then he grows it. If he gets trapped, he doesn't stay there to die. He can separate that section and move on because he knows he can build it. So we come from the same structure of the DNA. So it's within us, we have forgotten. So what you do most probably is when you have reached the position, you can concentrate and divert the energy to where you want it. But please don't push trying to get rid of your shoulder or your arm to drop off. And this is the limit, because
No.
in a system we built, we could dictate the separation of the tumor from the body. So you can do it,
Another question.
externally or internally. You concentrate the energy to where you want it through your emotion.
Yeah, it's not concentration, it's observation. I cannot control it, I can just observe it. And I
Yes,
wanted
but
to ask,
somebody is
because you said
controlling
in one
it
of
and then you observe it.
I wanted to ask, because
If you
in one of the workshops,
let me ask you a question. Can you do it to your shoulder and then change it to your toe?
yeah, I can feel it in the shoulder, and then
Okay, so
when I
you have a
concentrate on the
control on
leg,
the
I can
emotional
feel the
part.
neck.
Yeah, so you have a control, not just that you can't see. There is nobody outside holding the remote control to your body. You're choosing word to separate it to show something different. In fact, you decide where it goes through your emotion and the physicality.
Along those lines, recently I had an experience with a sore tooth on the right side of my mouth. So I placed my attention on that pain and transferred it to a tooth on the left side of my mouth. And the pain went away on the right side of my mouth. And eventually I forgot about the left side one and it all fixed itself. How about that? I
Let me
amazed
explain to
myself
you
on that
something.
one.
I think, is Armen online? Armen, where are you? Wake up.
Yes,
He's
I
on the
am.
call. Okay, Armen, can you explain what Elliot did to you last week here? With your tooth.
That's the torture she did. She
I was
poked me with the
Do you want me to explain it? Maybe it's so painful for you.
Okay.
Did she
Did
she hit your thumb
Pardon?
with a hammer maybe? And that cured your toothache?
No, let me
I was
explain.
looking
Maybe
like Frank.
Pardon?
I was looking like Frankenstein. You know, all these needles hanging from my finger. Frankenstein, you know Frankenstein?
Yeah.
You mean acupuncture or?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
but with different needles, bigger needles.
Darning
We are
needles?
guinea pigs here, all of us. Let me explain what happened. Armen had a very bad toothache, and it was like a lump on his right hand cheek, bottom right hand cheek. It was swollen, and he was sitting here very miserably in pain, and he wouldn't go to a dentist. And Elia just got 2 needles from an injection syringes, and she just stuck the 2 in 2 sides of the finger. I think it's a thumb. His thumb, yeah, it's his thumb. And then we were sitting here visually. We watched how Armen came out of, after a few minutes, literally, out of pain, and this lump started disappearing. So we've seen this operation here done coincidentally I think it was last Friday we were sitting here. Armen was sitting here and holding his tooth and in pain. And within minutes he could talk and he was back to normal. Then I started asking Dr. Elia the principle and concept he works. And it's very interesting as part of, as I said, the new systems coming in very miniaturized, very direct, come part of this development, because I've seen the work of Dr. Elia before, how she does it, how she does these things in understanding of the physicality, independent of the physical part. What she can explain, if I can explain your work, yeah, no problem, is that she decides in her thoughts where the part of the body is going to be and what is going to be. She could pick up your ear to do the same job, or she can pick up your liver to do the same job. It's the intention which she releases which gives the effect in the patient. She says, is my wish. And We've seen this with so many ways, my poisoning, with Caroline's poisoning, because she's been monitoring everything and she's been the cause behind it. And we've seen this before in another case a couple of weeks ago when she was here, 4 weeks ago. And we literally, me, Marco, Caroline, and Armen himself, and Elia here, we watched how this process happened. It's physical, because we've seen him in pain and how 2 needles. So these needles could be stuck in the body of, let's say, Marco, still Armen would have the same effect. Because that was the wish, that's what we call the thoughts, the emotions, which carries the information. Physicality is 20% of the communication. This maybe is the attributes of Bulgarians. If you can do it, Elia has perfected the art more or less. So this is what we're discussing in creating systems much simpler. Because I do this through the shoes. If some people have used the Keshe Foundation technology in the health side, they know I produce shoes that you just put your foot in it and then you walk. This, yeah. Yeah, it says, she says, I was explaining to her, I can't put a needle into Martians, so you do the process through thoughts. If you have used the Keshe Foundation, the shoes we used to put years ago into the process of the different illnesses, and people start walking, we used to do the same thing. But the information is more compact, it's more different way, so it becomes independent of the physician. In so many ways, I explained to Dr. Elia yesterday or the day before, this makes making systems so complicated. Because at the moment, we create the structure of the man in the system. But at the same time, we control the emotions of the man in the system. Now we have to build the wish, the soul of the man into the system. Then there is no escape. And then that soul, that condition can transfer from anyone to himself. So if it's your wish to get rid of a cancer, the cancer will be there. Then you have to stay straight, thou shalt not steal, straight with yourself. Because the structure, the connection, as your soul connects to the soul of, let's say, your grandmother or your somebody else that you see, we have the knowledge. I've tested this before. Now we are in a stage we can put it into practice of mass production. We make a copy of the soul, which your soul is connected. Then if you sincerely wish to get rid of the cancer, not just by talk, it will happen. Because through the cup you receive the information which you put in there yourself. Thou shalt not steal. So once we put these new systems out, and you say, I want to live, but I've got cancer, but there is no cancer, it's you who got to wish it to be there. We are at the phase that we can release this technology. We know how to make it. I've built these systems. The new phase, a lot of people who use 295, 298 series of the cups, because each cup has a series, is addition to that cup. We reach you through, you have to hold something physically to see your healing. We build it in the structure, so you don't even need to drink the cup, but for you as a physical man, you have to have something that you see it done something to you. So it's very easy to develop the next stage for commercialization, and it's very, very simple to bring it into operation. And tomorrow in the health sections, we will make an announcement in this respect, because I'm working on it. I actually spent a lot of time since 4 o'clock this morning, how we're going to do it, and if the commercial side, which now we use our friends in China, hopefully. You've got to understand the Chinese organization in China is a beautiful Iranian man who's behind it, and I understand his way of thinking, and he works on the same ethos as Keshe Foundation. So I've opened a full channel operation with him and his team around the world he has, to open the knowledge to humanity in a commercial way. And we see where we're going to go with this. But the healing process of the system is what do you call it? The processing, not the healing, but the processing of the system for the body of the man through these new systems becomes very efficient. Because then you cannot say, as our Bulgarian friend just said, he wants to move it from one side to another. Now you wish to have the soul. What is the true intention will be done. Even if you want to grow a leg, the leg will grow. But as long as you don't have a leg, you can attract attention and be center of attention, then the leg doesn't grow. So you control, you cannot lie to yourself. There is something I have to say before I forget. Tonight at 11 o'clock Pacific time, or 2 o'clock Pacific time in the afternoon, tomorrow, today, 11 o'clock is Central European, 2 o'clock Pacific time. We have an interview with Kerry Cassidy on Camelot, and Mike Harris is a co-interviewer. If you want to listen to Camelot tonight, it's a program agreed, and we'll see what comes up and what is the questions. Any other question?
Whoops. I think we're probably done for now, Mr. Keshe. It's been about 3.5 hours.
Did Eric want to say his last little bit? He wanted to say something at the end.
Oh, yes, Eric. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe. Okay, for finish, I want to say thank you, Mr. Keshe, for your teachings. Your teachings are part of my life. I thank to you. Thank you for.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the opportunity to explain my work on I am here for serve the people on the Keshe Foundation. Also, I have today received the email from Keshe Foundation. They told me that my kit from CO2 is dispatched from Italy. So I am very glad.
Yes, you know, that's what we said. This is what's happening in the background to stop any mayhem which is created by governments blocking shipping of the books. This is the easiest way. You know when it's dispatched, how it's dispatched, and you track it. So the governments cannot interfere with the process, because once the driver signs for receipt of the goods, he has to deliver goods. At the moment, what's happening with DHL in Belgium is the dispatch gives the books to DHL, and DHL, by the order of the government of Belgium, literally most probably throws the books in the bin. And then it doesn't happen, it doesn't come. And then to discredit. We are watching, we are monitoring these things, and this is the only way shortcut we found out, is that once you receive it, because we have a copy of the dispatch, there is no way governments can interfere to block the system. And we don't lose our credibility, and you don't wait for the thing and say we are a thief. There are hundreds of books thrown into rivers, most probably by DHL. So DHL, if I was you, I recommend you do not send anything with DHL anywhere around the world. They are servant to masters who to destroy new technologies and people's life. So I think DHL's life is totally finished. Very much like Pan Am. When Pan Am did not listen to the warning of the bomb on the plane and he flew it and people lost, within time Pan Am, nobody flew with Pan Am because they lost the trust. I do not trust DHL under no circumstances. If DHL is able to monitor what's going through their system to destroy, not to deliver, and dispatch tells us DHL is holding the books, and they have problem because they are pressurizing the publishers, even with the other books, that for them not to do the service for the foundation. So DHL is not to be trusted. Your books gets open, your material gets open, they steal what they want most probably, so because they are subservient to the master. Do not use DHL if I was you, because we've seen the result. And let them come and sue us. We have shipping documents, where are the books, if they are correct. How come only the books of the Keshe Foundation and the printers are going missing and no other publishers? So this is very
Mr. Keshe,
clear.
I think
Do not
you
send
could miss
anything with
something.
you.
Maybe the
Pardon?
Belgian government. I think you may miss something. Maybe the government of Belgium does not give them customs clearance to get them out to the
There is
airport.
book
So
doesn't need
they're
custom clearance. Book doesn't need custom clearance.
well.
Books
Check
are.
that.
We know that because they did it in the post office. Even destination books in Belgium were not delivered in Belgium when we sent it. People in Belgium do not receive their books from DHL. So there is no need for customs. It's a pattern of the work. We are monitoring. I know exactly. It's delay tactic because what happened, they interrogated our webmaster in Belgium, being collaborator in a scam fraud while not delivering books. So we saw the pattern what was coming on about 2 months ago. And we were warned that this is what he was interrogated, that is part of the scam. So they created a scam themselves and then they sue. And then when I announced it, everything is stopped. So I've been told not to discuss these things on the teaching sessions because it's not good for the foundation. But you people are getting affected by it, so we have to inform you what's happening. Now you receive, as Eric just told us, as I told you before, Eric does at the beginning of this program, in the middle, that we are sending emails to people to know, and now you see the confirmation. If you are looking for your CO2 kit, just be patient till it's done because we had to shift the work from Italian company into the Keshe Foundation here, and it's getting done. It's literally getting done 10 meters away from me. And it's going out here, and we put a control in that this way you receive the number. And this is fantastic because now, within 24 hours from the time you receive the email, it gets picked up by the courier, and then you can track it. Where it is, how it is, when you're going to receive it. There are always ways to do things correct. There is something I explained to Dr. Elia and Armen past few days. Because now it's 3-4 of us here and we found peace. It's a beautiful way to work. Time has no limit and we share knowledge and whatever we are. There is a big problem with the Belgium or with any government in respect to, not Keshe Foundation, in respect to my work. I have 20, nearly 30 years of work in the international world at the highest levels. I was not given the silver spoon. Even my father gave me the silver spoon. I refused because I had to do it my way. And in that process, I have learned everything. I've eaten with the poorest man in Africa, and I've eaten with the table of the presidents and the kings. So I understand the process and I know how conditions are created to support or retract, and for that reason, I can do things around it to be able to do it. And this is not coming out of just I imagine or what it is. Whatever we said, we put on documents. We show documents. We've been at the level to be involved in 2 peace programs around the world, and we show it. We can show the effectiveness of it. And I've been involved in feeding the poorest people around the world through understanding of the same principle. So when we see problem, we know how it's done. We have people who we can ask questions around as well. I have served my staff, when they were my staff, during the 20, 30 years, like a friend, like a father, and like a guardian. And when you buy a trust and you own a trust with people, people will help you and give you information freely because they know it's what it's done for. I worked out of Belgium for nearly 15 years at the highest level. And we know a lot of people in different levels to find out what's happening, and we don't divulge who and how and when it's done. Do not forget my wife is Belgium, and I worked out of Belgium. Our banks, our monitoring, our warehouses were in Belgium. We know a lot of people at different levels. We can find out what's going on. UBS in Creusot Town was put pressure on to lose papers. They were not prepared to do it. And one of the directors of the UPS actually bought one of the generators, paid the deposit for the generators. So people know who we are. We know how they are interfering, but they don't understand how deep, as I say, a tie of a scientist has fooled them. They don't understand the background. So we try to do things the way we understand when there is a shortcut, when there is a problem. As I said, we'll go more into detail most probably tonight in the chat show with Kerry Cassidy. A man who's innocent does not clean up his table 2 weeks before he goes on holiday, when he's coming back to do more research at the highest level. My blessing goes to the souls of who do these things. So thank you very much for Eric for mentioning it, and people who are asking for their kits, just wait in the next week, 10 days. First of all, we had a problem with the plates. Now we had to change literally change part of the lab, my personal lab, into the production line, and it's going out. And it's not done by knowledge seekers, it's done by Caroline, and we have a couple of people who are helping us to get it done, and it will meet the demand. But it is still a transfer to China through the Chinese Keshe Foundation people there. And I thank you for your trust in allowing us to be able to do this, and then we'll go to the next step. Any other question?
I think we're done for today.
We'll meet tomorrow. Tomorrow, health section is just questions for health. Any questions you have or whatever it is, Dr. Elias decided it's going to be about the questions. We taught a lot, let's understand what the problems are, and then we'll see what we can help.
Yep, and we have a new Chinese workshop coming up Monday, and a Spanish-speaking workshop.
No, not this Monday.
No, that's
this
right.
Monday
it's every other Monday. Thank you.
Week.
Yeah, we'll be skipping on that one, and Spanish again on Tuesday, and so
if
on.
You remember the time. If you don't go shopping at the time.
Yes. Well, I had to make a new calendar to stick on the wall and make it in big, bright colors so I can understand when all the workshops are in my days.
Yeah, I know you've been calling, trying to find where I was, and I was shopping for the lab.
Yes, right. Caught red-handed trying to find parts for the lab.
Yeah, because we had to get the units out. There were things, because these things we didn't plan. The Italians were supposed to, the last 2 or 3 days, we found out that it's not going to be met. So, done enough of manufacturing and productions around the world, it was easy for me to just divert it. We spent with Dr. Elia about 4 hours sitting in IKEA queue, trying to do what they were supposed to do 4 weeks ago. I'm not ashamed of working, and I'm not ashamed of sharing knowledge. What I'm ashamed of is the weakness of the man. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we are correct that the units are going out. If you receive the units, you please understand, we put it on the forum. The price covers the delivery into Europe because we cannot cover the international cost. We have to keep it that way. The UPS will get in touch with you. You have to pay for your deliveries. And we try to get the webmaster to change the prices that we can cover international prices, and see if he puts on, then we cover it all from here. But at this moment, whatever it is has been there. All the plates, everything is ready. It's just a matter of, the only which is holding back is the packaging. All the materials, all the plates, everything is here, it's done and it's ready to go.
And of course, people are encouraged to make donations straight to the Keshe Foundation as well on the keshefoundation.org website. So that's, you don't have to buy a CO2 kit, you can make a straight donation instead.
Oh yeah, it's so strange. People are buying 10s and 5s and 2s and 3s. And it's very strange where it goes, and see how they go. All the best till tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Keshe. That was a great workshop today. Really good.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Keshe.
And thank you so much, Eric. Eric, you did a great job there too. I was amazing with the video and so on. I thought you did an outstanding job. So thank you so much.
Thank you to you, my friend.
Okay, everybody, thank you very much for being with us for the 36th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And this is the end.